Right, there we go. Okay, we're ready. Hello. So, first of all, I want you all to introduce yourself. We'll start with Hope. You can introduce yourself. You've done this before and all that jazz. So go for it.
I'm Hope. I didn't realize this was happening today.
Thanks, Hope. So, like, tell us about your character. Like, what's the name? All that jazz. All that thing.
How much details do you want? Like,
Just
you want
the
the social
minimum.
security number?
Sure. Why
I
not?
don't know it.
Oh no.
I'm Hope. I'm playing Lance Buffet. He's the bartender.
Beautiful. Mojo, you go next.
Hi, I am Mojo Jojo, and I'm playing Louise Carlson. She's an artist and mother of 3, happily married.
Ooh, wait, how many years were they married?
30? Yeah, she's been 33 years.
Wow, that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
Sweet. And Neil.
Might not been a laugh.
Oh, I'm Neil, and I'm playing Hubert von Musselforth the 15th. And I've broken people already. An archaeologist and a defector during World War One, who suffers from claustrophobia, which I'm sure won't come up at any point whatsoever.
Not at all. Not at all. So we're gonna start this a bit different than I normally do. So I actually want to ask what kind of each character's morning routine would be. So we'll go the same sort of thing. So Hope, what is Lance's usual morning routine?
Why you gotta start with me? I gotta make this shit up.
That's fine.
At least give me time to prepare it when
Would
the
you?
others are talking.
Do you know what? We can do that. Mojo, what is Louisa's usual morning routine?
Well, first thing she does when she wakes up is she kisses her husband good morning. She makes some tea, prepares breakfast. Checks the mail. Make sure she's ready for the day. But before she does anything else, she makes sure to, check her garden, everything like that. Just small everyday stuff. Making sure that her husband isn't still in bed. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's lovely. And does she drive at all?
No, but her husband does.
Okay. Would her husband be the one to drive her down to the beach where this competition that you won is to?
Oh, absolutely. He drives her there and he sees her off, gives her a kiss on the cheek before she goes down. Says, "See you later. I will prepare dinner for tonight." Stuff like that.
Okay. What about Hubert von Musselforth the 15th?
So, upon arising from his bed at 7 a.m. sharp every morning, Oscar, one of his employees, we'll call him that, it's about 12 years old, makes sure that all the clothes are neatly pressed and out on the side and ready for him. He goes downstairs, newspapers already ready for him, coffee and breakfast is provided, reads through all the local news, and then checks any of his correspondence for his archaeology digs. Before then walking like a quick inspection in Grendel residence where he lives of some of his key artifacts that he has collected over the years. The main one being, and I can't remember what it's called, and I can't find stuff. It was it a pallid mask? Something like that, did he say? I can't find it.
Okay.
I'll find it later.
Okay.
But, a lesser pallid mask, which he discovered on his last excavation.
Yes.
And when he is required to go somewhere to lecture or to the university, then he has a chauffeur who will happily drive him. Well, maybe not happily.
Are you mean to your chauffeurs?
I am a wonderful soul.
Sure.
Let's put it that way.
Okay, I totally believe you. And Lance, what about Lance?
I mean, he lives in an apartment above the bar he works at. He wakes up, just regular, washes his face, makes food, goes downstairs to make sure that everything is, in place
Mm.
at the bar. Maybe he will have a morning drink because tough times. Have to cope.
Mm.
And then
And
he
no,
goes
go.
for a jog.
Oh, he goes for a jog. Okay, how long does he normally jog for?
30 minutes
Okay.
till he gets tired and then has a smoke break because, that's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And then he jogs back home.
Okay, so he's
Let's say
reasonably
he jogs halfway home and then he walks, so acting like he did something productive.
okay. So technically, he's reasonably fit, but he smokes.
Yes.
Okay, and can Lance drive at all, or would he get the people from the competition to pick him up and chauffeur him down?
He will probably get them to pick him up.
Okay.
Being a bartender doesn't pay that well. He can't afford a car.
Okay, you got a point. So you all kind of arrive one after the other to the beach where the competition said to meet around about 7 a.m. in the morning. The first person to arrive would be Louise, Lance, then Hubert, one arriving one after the other. As you pull up onto this empty beach, it's a beautiful, beautiful morning. A bit windy, but it's not too chilly, with the sun bright and a cloudless sky. You see just on the edge of the beach there's like a little what is it, a little dinghy sort of boat going on with two people waiting there. One person seems to be in a sort of uniform, stood up straight, arms behind his back, casually just kind of keeping an eye along the beach, and another older gentleman in a sort of a white sort of lab coat, kind of walking backwards and forwards, continuously checking his watch. He has a very terrible comb over, and he looks to be around his mid to late 50s. As he spots you all arriving kind of one after the other, this older gentleman kind of runs forward, and he actually goes to shake each of your hands. And he introduces himself, and he's like, yes, hello, I am Dr. Lake Robert Harrison. It is beautiful to meet all of you people who have come here, who have won the competition. I hope you're all excited for this little journey, this little trip.
Hubert looks at the hand and does not shake.
He awkwardly puts his arm down and just moves to the next person.
Louise eagerly shakes his hand. She smiles widely at him. Oh, this is going to be so delightful.
Oh yes, absolutely. This moment of discovery, it's going to be amazing. And then he goes to Lance and goes to shake Lance's hand, if Lance would shake his hand.
I mean, he has a mixture of confusion with his customer service face on and shakes his hand. Yes, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, you won the competition. You did it. I assumed you'd want to be here. And before he basically kind of starts to goes behind you all and kind of starts pushing you towards the other gentleman.
Don't touch me. Impudent lout. What is this discovery you speak of? Only a fool would announce a discovery before it has been discovered.
Well, it's kind of known as there's would he? I'm assuming Hubert would read the newspaper.
Oh, very much so.
Okay, so there's been a lot of kind of a lot of whispers, a lot of kerfuffle about some sort of discovery in the ocean, something that's not really been seen or heard of before. But you also know that Dr. Blake, the person that you've just met, is kind of known for, while he does work at a university, he's more known for the fact that whenever he makes a discovery, it always falls flat.
Good to know.
Okay. I assume if anyone would read that newspaper, you others would know as well. as he kind of leads you, he kind of backs away from Hubert, but he leads the rest of you to the older gentleman, who has a sort of like a captain hat under his arm. He's tall, straight. He's probably around 6'2", dark hair, sort of speckled white along the sides, and he looks like a very serious person, but he has like a small, tiny smile on his face. And Dr. Blake is like, this is Captain Gustav Johnson. He is the captain of the submarine that we will be going over to very shortly. And Gustav nods his head and he's like, hello, very nice to meet you all. I hope you're all ready. You've got any sort of like bags or anything, because there is a possibility we may be here a little bit longer than a day.
Spectacular. Who is going to carry my bags for me?
You will be carrying your own bag, unless Louise would like some help. I would be gladly ready to help her.
Oh, that's no need for that, dear. And she kind of flexes her arms. I'm stronger than I look.
He gives a little bow and he's like, of course, milady. And he turns to Lance, he's like, are you okay carrying your bag?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll manage.
Okay, if you would all like to come over to this boat and we will go over to the submarine.
Limping over, Hubert is muttering under his breath about how terrible it is, and they obviously don't realise who he is.
Would anyone like to do a I assume it would be a listen roll to see if you would hear Hubert talking under his breath like that?
Yes, I would actually like to do that. If I can just...
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so in the skills section, if you scroll down, it's all alphabetical. Under languages, there'll be a listen, and you literally should just be able to, let me take off the edit mode, press it, and it will roll.
Oh.
I mean, you don't need to listen, but yes.
I'm just seeing if it works. It's fine.
Okay.
I failed, so I don't know what I'm saying anyway.
Okay. You said something, but you don't hear it at all.
Would it be on the character sheet?
It is, yeah. So go into the character sheet, and then if you just scroll down to languages, it'll be just under their little listen roll. So this is where I think you can actually push rolls by spending luck points, but you can't spend over, let's say, 10 points. Okay, so no one can spend any luck points. You all fail to listen. So basically you hear a little murmur from Hubert, not really knowing what he said or anything like that. But yeah, you all get onto the little, I don't know, would it be like a rubber dinghy or something stupid like that? Before they start up the little motor and it starts pulling out to sea. How are you all feeling? Go on.
I don't understand how this roll system works.
It's okay. There's
Did I
no
roll
problem.
the 92 or did I roll
Yeah,
the 60?
so your
And where-
listen is 60, but you rolled a 92, so it is a failure.
Oh, so you have to roll lower
60 or below, yes, to be successful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
How are you all feeling about being on the ocean with the waves and how the boat would be bouncing against them? Would anyone get motion sickness or anything like that?
Louise is feeling just a tad motion sick, but otherwise she's very excited. There's a smile on her face, and she's looking around all excited and taking in deep breaths of fresh ocean air.
Okay. What about
Lan-
Lance and...
Lance grew up among sailors in Sweden, so he's fine.
Beautiful. And Hubert?
Hubert is absolutely fine, as he's used to travelling all around the world for his digs. Would Hubert notice Louise looking a bit unwell or struggling a little bit?
I don't think Louise is struggling. I think she's more at awe of being in breathing in the ocean air, I think you said.
She's not that used to going on the ocean, so she's feeling just a tad motion sick, but otherwise it is not a lot. She's dealing with it. She doesn't show it.
Oh, okay. So then no, you would not notice it unless you want to really take a look at it and see. No. Okay. The small little boat ride over to this big... So as you go about 15-20 minutes in, the boat kind of slows to a stop, and you're just kind of waiting there for a few minutes before you start to see the water about, they'll say about 25 feet ahead of you, starts to move a bit more violently before this giant part of this submarine just bursts from the ocean. It's freaking huge. You didn't expect it to be as big as it is. If you've never been on a submarine, they're huge, big metal thingamabobs. The top latch actually starts to, you actually hear the squeaking of the metal turning before the lid throws open and a little head pops up and it's like, "You alright?"
I was. And then I saw this thing.
Louise is just in awe, like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Lance is
that
still
rust.
confused.
What was that about Lance?
He is still confused.
Okay.
So I imagine he didn't actually enter this competition. He just took over someone who actually couldn't go.
Probably. The head kind of like does a little sort of shrug motion before he kind of stands up fully in full little sailor's gear, before the boat kind of goes slowly over, and the captain is the first one to kind of get on board, and he will slowly start pulling people up to it to go back down into the little hole. First he'll grab Hubert.
Oh.
And he's like,
Fine.
Mind your head as you go down.
Fine.
Yeah.
I do have a limp, so this will be entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
It takes Hubert quite a while with his gammy leg to climb up and down into the space.
Okay. Next, he'll grab Louise.
Thank you, dear.
No problem. Just mind your head on the way down. There is quite a few, as you get down, there will be a few pipes above your head, so just be careful with that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And then...
You hear an ouch from down below as Hubert headbutts something he wasn't warned about.
And Lance, you'll be the next one they grab before they grab the professor.
Thank you.
It's all good. As you are all in the submarine, you kind of take a little look around. It's very odd because it's very clean, very spick and span. You see a lot of people, well, a few people run up and down, make sure everything's running, probably looking at little dials on the pipes and stuff, making sure the pressures, everything is okay, before you actually hear the top of that little hole bit being closed shut. It's a bit of a tight thing. You could probably walk side by side, just barely, shoulders will be touching each other, but it is a little bit of a tight little squeeze at the same time. It's a bit cramped, I guess you could say. Before Gustav basically says, "We'll give you a quick tour of the submarine, we'll show you where you'll be staying, and we will bring you to the front, and we will talk about what is this discovery that we're going to be looking at on this fine day, if that's okay with everyone."
Yes, fine. Just somewhere to put our bags for now.
Yes. If you would all like to follow me as he slowly starts to lead you in a straight line before you go down a few little metal ladders, as he takes you to some sort of cabins. They are small, compact, basically full of bunk beds. But he literally will bring issue to one and be like, Lance and Hubert, you'll be staying in this little cabin here, as he kind of shows you this empty one. Very small. You could probably just put your stuff under one of the bunk beds and be able to stand in there, but it's very, very tight and compact.
Hubert takes out a little jar out of his pocket and just takes a quick drink. He is not enjoying the close quarters of this area. He's just developing a small twitch as he's looking around.
Okay. What about Lance?
He looks in, like at the little room and is just lovely.
Okay. He quickly does a little 180 and he's like, Louise, if you would follow me, please. And
Of
he'll
course.
actually lead you down a few doors, about 3 doors down to another one. He's like, obviously, because this is a submarine, normally we don't really allow... Well, considering this as a one-off, we do have another female on board. You both will be staying in this cabin over here. We like to keep the females separate from the males. I hope you don't find that a problem or anything like that.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you.
No problem. As you all sort of get comfy, you kind of realise where you're at. You have a look at the room numbers. Everything seems to be pretty much sorted in these tiny, tiny bunks.
What's our room number, Noah?
You are room number 4. So that's Lance and you are room number 4, and Louise is room number 7. He then waits for you all to kind of come out, basically make sure that you're all ready. With the professor next to him, who's looking very excited to do this.
I'd say Lance is pretty quick in and out.
Beautiful. What about Hubert?
Hubert is looking at Dr. Harrison with immense disdain, but is for the moment keeping very quiet.
Okay. And Louise?
Oh, she quickly puts away her things and goes to where the others are.
He then says, if you would all like to follow me with the professor, we will lead you to the front and we will show you what it is that we will be going to be doing on this little trip. He then leads you back up the stairs, basically leading around. It takes a couple of minutes, about 4 or 5 minutes to get there. He's walking at a very fast pace with long strides, with the professor kind of having to jog behind him, then followed by you 3. Is there anything you want to say to each other at all?
Louise turns towards the other 2 and she says, "Isn't this all very exciting? I have never been on a submarine before."
Neither have I. I would feel far safer, however, if we were not in the presence of that charlatan and fraud, Dr. Harrison.
Now, that's a bit mean. I'm sure that he's has very much knowledge when it comes to his work.
Oh, he has plenty of knowledge. Knowledge is not his problem, it's his ability to attain results that leaves much to be desired.
Well, I can't say that I know him, so I will refrain from making any sort of judgment for now. What about you, Lance? Was it? How are you feeling about this?
Yes, I'm still not fully sure what we're doing here, but I've never been on a submarine before either, so new experiences. Yay!
That's the spirit.
Not much longer do you arrive at the kind of like the hub of everything, where the captain would be in charge. You see a few people dotted around. And he'll sit down and he'll start giving instructions to people to basically go down a certain amount and stuff like that. And you actually feel the motion in the most weirdest way possible of the submarine going further and further down into the ocean. Before it starts moving, and you just kind of hear everything just working, this low hum of the submarine, before he turns to the professor, Dr. Robert Harrison Blake, and is basically like, you can take them to your area, I will be there shortly, I just need to make sure everything is running smoothly here while I take control. And yeah, I will see you all very shortly. Before he gives you a nod, and he sits down and just starts barking orders at anyone and everyone who is there in that area. Dr. Blake just kind of, he frowns a lot at Hubert because he kind of overheard what you were saying before humping to himself. And he's like, if you would all like to follow me, I will lead you to where our little thing is with all the proof that I have that there is something absolutely amazing out there and we are going to find it. And what he does is he leads you out, not much further down from there. There's a little room that he basically pushes you all into, with a few strange odd devices, and one of them has these giant sort of, it's very unusual, it's a sort of some massive headphones, and he looks giddy. He's very gleeful at this moment in time, and he's like, I'm going to show, or well, I guess I could make you hear something that is very unusual. And what he'll do is he'll hand each of you a headphone that he kind of puts into like all these different sort of jacks, and he goes, it might hurt your ears a little bit, but I want you to listen very closely to this, and then I will explain it to you, okay?
Okay.
Are we sure that this is safe? We all know what happened last time you did something like this.
It is safe, we will be fine, you need to stop. You are a very miserable man, this is a time of rejoice and excitement.
No, don't, there's no need to argue. I'm sure that everything's safe. Luis then puts on the headphones.
Okay. And as you put on the headphones, you start to hear this sound. And I'm going to play it for you. It might be a little bit loud. I'll try and make sure it's not too loud for you. You hear this. And he goes, do you hear that? That high noise?
It sounds like a repeating pattern. What full mess have you found this time?
Well, this is the thing. This is something I'm very, very excited about. It's the frequency, the 52 Hertz. And normally, what we think it is a whale that is at a different frequency than others. And we're going to go and find it. Are you not...
What brought us out here for a whale?
Well, it's not just any whale. This is the thing. It is one of a kind.
Well, it's always exciting finding and learning about new things. So if it's one of a kind, then I'm sure that it's very amazing and special.
Thank you. I appreciate you being honest and agreeing with me on this, because there's so many questions that we have, like, is it lonely? Is it crying out? Is it deaf? Why is it at a different frequency? Is it like a hybrid? Like, we don't know. This is what we're going to do. We're going to find out what this is. And he kind of...
If it's at a different frequency, does that mean it cannot hear other whales?
That is the question. And that is a very good question. We are not sure. We don't think it can, but we don't know until we find it, basically.
Must be awfully lonely.
That's the quest. That is the thing. Like, is it lonely?
Have you considered asking if it is actually a whale?
Considering the type of frequency, it is on the same sort of spectrum as a whale, but it's just a lot higher. So this could mean that it could be deaf, or it's bigger than what it is. But it is a type of whale. We've never heard a whale at this frequency, at this high frequency before.
Well, that is amazing. I do not know a lot about whales, but they are, from the photos I've seen, they are beautiful animals.
Absolutely. Like, do you want to know a random fact about a whale?
Oh, please do tell.
Whales, how they talk when they're above water is by flapping their fins on the water. Isn't that insane?
Well, that's the life, Joel. It's like they are performing charades.
You know what? That's a fantastic way of viewing it. I think I might write. And he starts writing that down in a book, like whales doing charades, and then just like a little fin drawing on a pad. And he's like, yeah, this is fantastic. But this is what we're going to basically go and find out. This is the competition that you've won. And as he kind of starts that, the captain kind of turns up and he's like, it's been about, we'll say about 40 minutes since you've kind of been walking up and down. They've been showing you around the submarine before they brought you there. And he's like, we're going to show you where the canteen is. I'm going to introduce some of the crewmates. We are working on a skeleton crew. Normally, submarines will have around over 100 people, but we only have around 32 people on here. Just because the submarine will be not in use anymore until it's needed again. But we will show you to the canteen, and then you will have mostly, you can just basically walk around the submarine and have a look around yourselves, if that is okay.
I have a question, Noah.
Yes.
Would Hubert, because he's aware of who Dr. Harrison is, be aware of his field of study?
You would, yes, because you're a type of that sort in that sort of area of expertise. In a way, you would know, yes. Especially with the media stuff, he tends to have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know he's a type of biologist. Works at Miskatonic University. Most of his stuff, obviously, like I said, fell through. Like, he'd think he'd find something, some sort of, like, some new sort of animal or cryptozoology. It's something along them lines. He thinks he's found something, and when it comes to it, it's always been some sort of fake stuff or just something that's just never gone through. And that's what he's mainly known as. But there's a lot of talk because he has this sort of proof with this noise. That's where the excitement's coming from, because it's like, oh, maybe he has found something.
Oh, no, I just noticed that, we never added things to my possession.
That's fine. Goodness, it was a pad and drawing, correct? Pad and
Yeah, a
pencils.
guitar.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I've made note of it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the captain leads you to another area, and he brings you to the canteen. Decent sort of size. There's a few tables sort of in a line, and it's like kind of like in two sort of rows, about good few tables, with like a little area where there seems to be like a cook, with like food that people can go up and scoop onto a sort of tray. And you see a very tall man behind there with a little hairnet on. Even though he doesn't need it because he's bald, but he has a hairnet on his head just because he can. And Gustav Johnson, the captain, basically turns around and goes, "This is Franklin Rowland. He is the cook. He is known as Moose, mainly for he is strong. He's a huge, bulking man. He's very kind face, though. And he gives you all a little nod and a little small smile on his face. And he kind of waves his little ladle.
Would you kind of describe him like Brahm?
Yes.
Because then I fully have the visual.
Yeah. Did you want me to describe him then? Like how tall he is, his lack of hair, his eye, like my voice is going. Sorry.
Well, keep going to the others. Like if you just say like he looks like Brahm, I already.
Okay, yeah, he just looks like Brahm. Very tall, very, very buff, strong shoulders, bald as you can possibly. He's very shiny haired, little fishnet on. Very kind blue eyes though. And yeah, he gives you a little small smile, a little nod, and waves his ladle at you. Before they turn you to another one, and they're like, "This is another person who's sat down that you walked past originally." It's like, "This is Danford. He has short brown hair. He's about 5'2". He's very short. He kind of looks at you, but he doesn't really give you much of any sort of recognition that he's gonna acknowledge you properly. He kind of looks at you, glances at you, and he kind of just continues eating his food before they turn around to someone else, and they're like, "This is Copeland. This is Howard Copeland. He is a friend of Moose. Yeah, this is pretty much the main people who you'll be mainly seeing around. Everyone else will be busy in there doing their own sort of jobs. If you have any questions, you can absolutely ask any of them anything. And I will leave you all to have a look around and go to the submarine, as I will go back to my main area. Hopefully this will all go well. If not, we'll just come up and we'll go back if there's no discovery. But either way, there should be fun and entertainment and some sort of knowledge for you. If you have any questions, you can find me or ask anyone else." And he does a little sidestep and he goes away. And you all just kind of left there in this canteen. They've just left you to your devices.
What is it we are meant to do now? We know nothing about... Excuse me. Danford, was it?
He kind of glances up at you. He's like, "Mm-hmm."
Tell me, how many decks are there on this submarine?
He does this huge sigh, and he goes, "Why? Do you need to know?"
Because I have no idea of the layout of this place. I don't know if there's anywhere that is off limits. I don't know where I am.
Yeah, the engines are off limits. Pretty standard. Engines are off limits. The main bit where the captain's in. Wouldn't want people to go there normally. Only if you have a question you can go there. But I think they pretty much said you can have a look around anywhere and everywhere apart from the engine and there.
Thank you. You have been... Yes. And I turn away.
Oh. Kind of shrugs and does a little snort. Is there anything any of you would like to do in this moment?
Lance is kind of just looking around. Kind of imagine a nurse that somehow is in the war room while they're having a discussion, but like she doesn't want to leave, but she doesn't really belong there, but she doesn't want attention drawn to herself, so she kind of just sits there with like a blank stare.
I love that. What about you, Louise?
I think Louise would walk up to the moose.
Mm-hmm.
Because he looks kind, and she kind of starts a little small talk. "Hello, my name is Louise. One of those who won the competition. I was just very curious. How long have you worked here?"
Oh, he kind of just has a little smile on his face, and he has like a very gentle voice that comes out, which doesn't really fit the way that he looks. And he's like, "Well, I've been on here for about 4 years. Obviously through the war. I've always just sort of been the cook. But it's nice to see that you won the competition. Are you excited about that?"
Well, yes, very much so. I have never been on a submarine before, and I'm always eager to learn new things and experience new situations. And this is certainly something new.
Oh, I'm very happy for you to have this sort of experience, considering everything that we've all been through. Do you have any questions you would like to ask at all?
Well, I'm not really sure. There are so many things I could ask, but perhaps you say that you have been in this submarine for 4 years. have it have it experienced any sort of battle?
It has. I mean, it's been 2 years since World War One, so yeah, we were involved with that. We've taken down a few submarines, a few things. Lost some good people, but I'm pretty sure so have they.
Just for a note, I don't think people back then called it World War One. I think
No,
it
they
was the
didn't. But
Great War.
it was the Great War. You are correct. But it's the best way I could describe it. It was the Great War.
It was just like World War One.
Yeah.
You're expecting another one.
Oh dear.
How many have there been?
So many. I'm joking. The Great War. They were involved with the Great War. That sort of jazz.
Well, I am happy that you are all back from that, and I'm sure it was very frightful to be in that kind of situation.
It kind of looks around. He kind of gets very solemn, and he leans in pretty close, and he goes, it's not been. We don't normally talk about these sorts of things. We like to just kind of push past it and move on and get on with things. But it's not been great.
I understand. Thank you for being so honest about it.
No problem, no problem. If you need any food or anything, just let me know, and I'll do the best that I can.
Well, thank you. I will make sure if I get hungry, I will talk to you. And then she kind of waves and walks away.
Waves his ladle at you again. What about Lance? What's Lance doing?
I would say he was politely listening in on the conversation, and when Luis has left, he asks Moose, "Do you have any liquor on board?"
He kind of goes a bit quiet, and he goes, "No," before he winks.
Right. If you need some help to make that, a bit more flavorful, let me know.
He goes, he leans close and goes, "Oh yeah, how?"
I'm a bartender. It's what I work with.
Oh, his eyes kind of go really bright and gets a little bit excited in himself, and he's like, "Okay, this is good. This is good. Maybe later we can sort something out."
I'm so down.
Oh, fantastic. What is your name again? Sorry.
Lance.
It's nice to meet you. And he kind of moves later to his other hand, and he kind of puts his arm over the top of like this little area of food to shake your hand.
He grabs it and shakes it.
And then he lets go, and he's like, "Okay, if you need any food, any drinks or anything, let me know, and I'll do my best to accommodate."
Likewise with he just winks.
He winks back. It's like, "Okay, wink." Would you be charming him at all? Is this what you're doing?
Maybe I could roll one for, I don't know, like an accidental charm.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Oh, as you describe how how you would like with the wink and stuff like how would that come across?
I mean, it would just be like his typical kind of like how he would wink at patrons at his bar to kind of encourage a tip.
Okay. So
But
as
like it can be interpreted as flirty. It's just usually not by men of this time,
okay.
unless they were on the down low.
So as you do like this standard wink that you would normally do with your success, as he goes to wink at you back, his chinks actually go a little bit pink before he kind of dips his head away and turns, so you don't actually see how red he actually gets. But you get the feeling that he's kind of a little bit like, you get the sense that he might be into you a little bit. With mainly just the way that he reacted. And what about Hubert von Mufflefort the 14th, 15th, whatever it is. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Hubert is stood in the middle of the room, visibly confused and slightly perturbed by the fact he is basically in a small sardine can, surrounded by, well, in a small sardine can with
Okay.
a fellow professor that he has limited respect for, shall we say.
So you have claustrophobia, correct?
I do.
And
I
with
took
that, I need you to
Oh.
roll a sanity roll for us, please.
Okay, where do I find that?
So on your character sheet, near the top where you've got the other, like, the strength and stuff like that, there should be a little sanity thing. You should be able to just press that.
Where is it? Oh, yes. Oh, I came up with a syntax error.
Oh no, okay. So just roll a 1d100 for us. On the side, on the left, there's a little there's a little dice thing you can press, and you should be able to just press the d100.
D100.
Yeah. Well, very good. So you've succeeded your sanity thing. So while you feel uncomfortable a little bit, it's not too much for you at this moment in time. You're just a little bit awkwardly uncomfortable. Very nice.
He's muttering a prayer under his breath.
What would this prayer sound like?
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
Ooh.
Are you doing it loud enough for everyone else to hear?
No.
No. Okay.
Just sort of muttering under his breath like a madman.
Okay. Time sort basically goes on and on. A couple of hours have gone by as you're all just kind of mulling around, awkwardly, not really knowing what to do, because they kind of just left you to it on the submarine, before the professor comes back and he goes, "We're gonna be here a little bit longer." Well, no, let me do. So, we're going to be here a little bit longer, maybe another day or so. Just because it's taken us a bit longer to get to where the sound is, because it's actually moved from where it originally was. So you might have to spend the night.
A whale that moves.
I know, but it's been in this one area for a while, and it seems to have moved from that area. So where it's a bit.
Well, I believe my husband can take care of himself for a little while longer, so I personally don't have a problem with this.
Fantastic. What about you other two? I kind of glares at Hubert, looks at Lance, hopeful.
Well, Jessica should be able to manage, so it should be fine to stay over a night, yeah?
Who's Jessica?
She's the one I live with.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry then. It wasn't really my place to ask questions. But yeah, like, you're left to your own devices as he says this. He kind of goes back to where he needs to go. What would you all like to be doing in this sort of time thing before you have to go to sleep?
I would like to follow Dr. Harrison
Okay.
and bother him.
Oh,
as much as possible.
You are so mean to Harrison. What about Louise and Lance?
So, where is it? Is he going back to like where the headphones were?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
What
Dr. Harrison.
Oh, one second. What about Louise and Lance? What would they be doing?
I think he would have gone to his room, probably gotten the guitar, gone back to the cafeteria, and it's just lightly playing.
Oh, I love that. What would we roll for that? Like, how well would you be able to do that? We'll do it as an art, because I don't see any like sort of music sort of thing on there. If you want to roll for that, just to see how well you're doing.
The fact that like every stat is so low and you have to roll.
I know, there or below. If you could think of another thing for it to be under, you can definitely
think art would probably be the one.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Nope. So, would you like to describe how it sounds for everyone with your little failure?
No?
No, you don't want to do an impression of it, like bonk, bonk, dunk, dunk.
No, because I still wouldn't imagine it to be terrible.
No, it
It's
wouldn't
just
be
us putting
terrible.
on a performance.
Yeah, that's true. So, it's not terrible.
It's just some light background music.
Yeah.
To kind of drown out the humming of the machinery.
Yeah, absolutely. A few little chords, a few little strings plucked. It's not terrible, but it's okay.
Like just a little campfire almost.
Yeah. As you do it, some of the crew, kind of gather around a little bit and listen to it, and just kind of like talk, kind of quietly amongst as they listen to you. What about Louise?
Well, Louise is also going to follow Lance because she's going to get at least something to eat before she goes to bed, because she's a strong woman that needs her food.
Yeah, absolutely. As you kind of look at the food, it's not the best looking food ever, but Moose seems very proud of it. It's mainly stuff like slop, protein sort of things, a lot of like fruit and vegetables so they don't get like scurvy and stuff like that. But it's an okay assortment. He kind of puts quite a bit onto the tray and he's like, there you go, madame, and he kind of like slides it over to you with a little bit of the most milkiest cup of tea, if that was what you wanted. He doesn't really know. He just kind of made it. Everyone wants like some sort of drink. He's like, cup of tea, and he's like slide this milky, lukewarmish sort of thing over. Proud of himself though.
Louise takes it with a smile. She smiles a lot. She's like, "Thank you very much. I will just go and get. I will just go and sit down and eat it up before I go to bed."
Okay, I hope you enjoy your food and that you have a good night.
Thank you. So as well as you. And then she goes sits down.
Okay. Obviously you see Lance there, quietly playing over the hum with the guitar. Everyone just kind of relaxing to it. It's a nice change for everyone. And Hubert, you've gone to follow the poor professor.
Hi.
And what is it you do?
Mr. Harrison, I have some questions for you.
You just hear him go, "Oh, for God's sake, man, what do you want now? You've come after me non-stop. You should be more polite."
I am polite to those with a history of achievement. However,
It's like, achievements. I'm trying to get my achievement. You are putting all these blockades in the way.
as I was about to say before you decided to bombastically interrupt me. As
Kind
I
of
am
scoffs.
stuck here on this thing, I will make my services available to you so that we can end this charade as quickly as possible. Tell me, when did you first discover this sound?
So as you said that you would help, he actually looks kind of taken back by that, and he's like, "Oh, I apologize." And he's like, "Charades. We actually found this just a few weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, we heard this sound."
Okay. And whereabouts did you first hear this sound? Where in the ocean was it located? Around about?
So, oh god, what kind of sea are they at? So, where you're at, you were basically at the beach near Arkham. The submarine is known as the USS Arkham. It's not from that it was originally from there, but parts of it was made around there. Where would that be? Near Massachusetts?
So it's East Coast America.
Yes, basically. It's like right about in the middle center of it. Just off to the left.
Out of curiosity, Bermuda Triangle ends where compared to where we are now?
I mean,
Would I know this based on my, because it's obviously a place where stuff goes missing. With occult knowledge, would I have a vague idea?
so it wouldn't be a cult.
Would be a cult, would it?
It wouldn't,
But-
no. What I would say is roll that for, I'm going to say library use. Just basically because that's something that you probably read more than anything if you just roll for that.
Roll me. There we go.
Yo, so that's an extreme success. So you remember every specific thing about what has gone missing there. So yeah, you have that knowledge, absolutely.
Seems to me that that sound was a pattern. Would you agree?
I would not agree.
How so? How is it different? It seemed to be repeating.
Yes,
What
because
was
it was
heard?
crying out. That's why. It is a living thing that is making that noise. It might seem like a pattern to you, but for someone of my skill and my profession, I know what that sounds like.
And I will, on this occasion, agree. Why has this not been discovered before?
No one's really gone to hear for things out this far. Well, yes, we definitely listen to them to hear about, hear of the whales and other sort of things in the ocean, but we've never gone this far out and this far deep. And that's why no one's really heard it, because of mainly how deep it is.
You see a brief moment of panic at the word deep across Mufflefort's face.
Mufflefort.
Yes, as he is, again, in a very confined space and under the water. It's like, how deep are we looking at going for this surge?
So basically, normally the max depth that we tend to go for in submarines is around 660, maybe 700 to 800. We're actually going 920 feet.
Okay. Can the submarine actually survive a dive down that deep, especially considering it's on the verge of being decommissioned?
It can. We've been down there that far before.
And what did you find last time?
Nothing.
Of course. Well, if there's anything that I could do to speed this along, you know where my room is, yes?
I do, yes. It is number 4.
Good, you know your numbers. And I turn and I walk away.
You're so good, you know your numbers, and I turn and walk away. Fantastic.
You're so mean.
I know, right? Like, the hell?
Look, I told you I wasn't a likable character.
That is fine. Now.
I mean, I love it, but
yeah. So, basically, there's clocks in the rooms and stuff. It gets pretty late. You all kind of go to your respected rooms. Lance and Hubert, you share the same room. Who's taking the top bunk?
Not me, because I can't climb.
Oh, okay. You can't do ladders. Okay.
I could try and do ladders, but
You don't have to roll climb for a ladder for a bunk bed.
I have a limp.
Oh, you
really bad
do.
fall.
I apologize.
So, yes, I do have to roll for ladders.
Okay, you do. Okay, Lance.
Lance will be courteous enough to let him pick whatever fits his needs.
Oh, see, look at the other two being really nice and kind and polite.
So at this point, Hubert nods respectfully to Lance and says, "Thank you."
he can be nice.
I know, shocking. Is there anything you say to each other or anything that you do?
Just like a general question, would there be like any visible indication that he is uncomfortable being in this submarine?
I would say yes, just because of how long they've been in the submarine and how he has reacted to how far deep they are going to be going very soon. Yes. There's little signs of, I'm assuming, Hubert being uncomfortable.
He's quite fidgety. He's got almost like a twitch, which is gradually getting slightly worse. And occasionally you'll see him just get like little bottles out of either his luggage or his thing. I'll just take a quick sort of sip out of whatever that is as well.
So, I'll ask him like, are you okay?
I do not do well in confined spaces. I'm used to being out and above ground. Do not like to be confined. It will be fine. It will only be one more day, probably. Then this farce will be over.
Would you be more comfortable if I asked for you to have this room alone, so it would be more open for you?
I appreciate the offer, but your presence here does not make it worse. It is merely how close the walls are. But
Noted.
thank you.
Just let me know if you need anything, okay?
I will do.
And with that, you two fall asleep. Louise, you've gone to your little cabin, your little room, and you see another woman there. Looks to be in her mid sort of 20s, hair kind of in a short kind of bob, mousy brown, hazel eyes, in a sort of nurse uniform, and she kind of looks up like, oh, another one! Thank God! And she actually runs over and she actually goes to give you a hug.
Hello there. Nice to meet you too.
I'm so sorry. I'm Annie. I'm Annie Tuttle. I'm the nurse here on this submarine just for a couple of days. I'm so happy there's another one. I'm just surrounded by men. So I'm quite grateful that you're here.
Quite understandable. Did you say you were only going to be here for a couple of days?
Yeah. It's they asked for someone because the other the doctor and the nurses they needed to basically they're on leave to go home and stuff like that. So here I am, I guess.
Well, I am happy to meet you, and I hope we will get along well until we eventually part.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Normally I take the bottom bunk. Do you want me to go to the top one? You're more than welcome to have the bottom.
If you could, yes, please. While I am not as fragile as I appear, I am nonetheless not as nimble as I used to be.
It's all good. I'm sure as we all get older, it'll be exactly the same for me. She kind of says that she kind of blushed a little bit, realizing that she's called you old to your face, not realizing. She goes, "Oh, sorry. Let me." And she, as she kind of like flounders, she kind of pulls the stuff from the bottom and throws it onto the top, and she kind of makes the bottom bunk kind of nice and a bit fresh for you. And she's like, "There you go. I'm so sorry." She kind of clambers up and she kind of like looks at you with a smile, seemingly just ecstatic that there is another woman on board.
Louise just smiles back and she's like, I understand that it must be a bit hard to be the only woman among men in such close quarters.
I mean, when you say it like that, I guess, but they're very respectful, which is nice.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, I would have been forced to have a talk with them, I'm afraid.
she just like a little giggle behind her hand. She's like, stop.
Well, I'm sure that you are tired, as am I. So, unless you have something you want to ask or something you want to talk about, how about we both of us go to sleep?
You know what, that sounds really good. It's been a long day. have a good sleep, I guess, then.
You too. And then Louise tucks herself into bed, looks at her wedding ring for a few seconds.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, what does she feel as she looks at her wedding ring?
She misses her husband a little bit. She's been sleeping in the same bed as him the last 33 years.
Oh,
So she's not used to, not having someone by her side. But she thinks, well, while it's sad he's not here sharing this experience with me, I am very excited about telling him all about it, and I'm sure he's happy and eagerly awaiting my return.
Hmm. And with that, you all basically fall into a sleep. If you would each roll a d4 for me, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. So, Hubert, this is what you see as you sleep. You see yellow leaves fall slowly from a thick roof of branches above you. Blades of sunlight stab through the darkness. Ahead of you stands a dilapidated... Oh, that's a word. There you go. Log cabin. The door slowly swings open and figures emerge. They advance slowly with purpose towards you. You want to turn and run, but you can't take your eyes from them. Your muscles strain as your brain cries out for your limbs to work, and you are completely powerless. The figures wear strange clothes. You hear the first one, a man's voice, as he comes closer, saying, "Come with us. Join us in his service. Embrace your new destiny and bask in his eternal glory." Its face is lifeless, pale, and unblinking. A dark green smear of corruption spreads down from an empty eye socket. It grins and its skins crack. Louise, what you dream of is you are standing on the shore of a lake. Its waters are black and they stink. While the pale moon above reflects off its oily surface, an unhealthy yellow glow shines through wooded tree lines surrounding the lake. You can feel a presence behind you, blocking your retreat. You've stood there for hours, as it feels, and now you know the time is finally at hand. Strange lights pulses from beneath the water. Tendrils rise slowly from the surface, writhing and twisting in the cold night air. At the end, lids open and blink, revealing inhuman eyes that look into your soul. An array of metallic spikes begin to thrust upwards as something huge rises to greet the night like polished metal. It glistens in the moonlight, the spines writhe and flex. You feel a sickening stab as something plunges into your chest. And Hope, your sleep is far from restful.
Oh, so I don't get, called by my character's name.
Sorry, I apologize. Sorry, Lance. Sorry. No, I love you. Lance. Your sleep is far from restful. You toss and turn from side to side, bombarded throughout the hours of darkness by images that you barely recall when you awake. But it's the previous day's trek through the forest that's influencing this dream that you've been walking through forest. It's like a dream after another dream. All you remember are the dark trees surrounding you. Sickly yellowing leaves fall into the ground. You feel a terrible foreboding. Something is out there, watching and waiting. As you all eventually just slowly wake up out of these horrible dreams that you've had. And I'm going to need you all to make a sanity roll for me.
I was just clicking where it says sanity, right?
If that doesn't work, just roll a standard D100.
Oh!
Oh, shit, okay.
Oh.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So, oh god, what? Okay.
I think
Louise,
Karma is coming to
no.
visit.
Okay, so as you sorry, Lance. I don't know why I'm having problems today. I know I'm awful. Lance, as you wake up, this dream is, even though it feels dirty and not right, and you feel like something is watching and waiting for you, kind of as you come out, you take a deep breath and you feel, okay, I'm just in an unusual place. This is why I'm having strange dreams.
It's used to night terrors.
Yeah, absolutely. Louise,
Yes.
you need to take 4 off your sanity.
And how do I do that?
If you would like, I could do that for you. It's a little edit mode. You know how you made the sheets
Oh,
originally?
yes, yes, yes.
Do that and just take 4 away from your sanity.
So I have 46 left. Ah.
You are very unnerved by this dream. It is dirty, unnatural, and you feel where you've had this pain. You feel like a pressure there. Kind of makes you feel a bit sick to your stomach.
Ah. Yeah, Louise wakes up and she feels like, oh, perhaps it is. Perhaps it is just simply because I'm sleeping in a new place. But deep inside, she feels like it's something more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hubert von Mufflefort the 15th. What you rolled is a fumble. So you take 6 sanity away from yourself.
Oops, I did not mean to do that. Let's not lose more. 6.
And I need you to roll a 1d100 for me, please.
Oh no. Go away.
Okay.
There
Okay. For some strange reason, as you wake up, you have this strange, unnatural fear. You have arachnophobia.
Oh no.
You have this horrible feeling about spiders maybe crawling along your face, and you have this fear of them, this deathly fear of them all of a sudden that you never knew that you had. You don't know why you've got it, you don't know where it's come from, but this is what you've got for a good couple of hours.
Get them off me! Get them off me! Get them off me now! And you just hear this flump as he falls off the bed, just clawing at his face.
I would say Lance kind of jolts out of the bed and like looks for what it is he's supposed to get off him, and sees nothing and just tries to calm him. Like there's nothing, sir. You're fine. You're fine. It's just a dream.
Little stone jug. Stone jug.
He looks for the stone jug.
Where is the stone jug?
It's in my, what they called, my stuff under the bed. With sort of my goods that I brought with me.
Okay.
A little bit of my panic medicine.
Okay, so Lance, as you remember, as Hubert says about this jug, you remember from earlier, before you went to sleep, of how he would take little zips from this thing, and you kind of remember where he put them.
Yeah, he would take it and like give it to him while like help, and I don't know if it's a screw thing or like a flip thing, but like he roped it for it and give it to him.
With that, we'll have sorry, go on.
I'll take a long swig. It's like a pressure cork sort of release.
Oh.
It's a bigger sort of swig than he'd had previously. And you can see him visibly calm a little bit. His eyes droop slightly as it starts to kick in. It's just a damnable place. Damnable situation to be in. Thank you.
No problems.
I appreciate your assistance.
With that, we'll have a quick little break. I need to pee, so we'll be right back. If you need to go get anything to drink or anything, this is your time to go now. We'll be right back.
Can
Yep.
refill my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Louise, as you wake up, you actually hear screams coming from a couple doors down. Yeah, you wake up. I feel as you do, you hear a few shouts and screams coming from a few doors down. You kind of recognize the voice a little bit as Hubert, and some, because the walls aren't very thick. They're just like the most cramped little places. So you can pretty much hear anything and everything that goes on between them. And you hear a few muffled words that you assume would be Lance.
Immediately, Louise throws herself off the bed because after years of, taking care of her kids, if she hears someone screaming and it sounds like they're scared, it's kind of like second.
Maternal instinct.
Yeah, it's like, shit, I gotta help. And so she practically jumps out of bed, exits the bunk, and runs up to room 4 and she opens the door, doesn't even knock. It's like, what is it? What happened?
Yeah, the door slams open and you just see Louise on the other end.
Her hair is a mess, it's standing all on end.
I would say Lance is like standing. You know that typical like cut off guard pose when like your legs are like slightly spread and your arms like a bit to the side.
Yeah.
Like just in his underwear, just like what? What's happening?
Yeah, you see, you actually see Hubert on the floor, taking a drink of something, and you just obviously see Lance in that pose. And what do you all do?
Louise sees Hubert on the floor, and while she hasn't had such a positive view on him until now, she sees him and he appears scared, and she's like, "Honey, did you have a nightmare?" Once again, going into mother mode, like, "Aw." Totally forgetting, like, yeah, I had a nightmare. She doesn't say it, but she's like, yeah, I had a nightmare too, but this poor young man who's her age probably
Yeah.
needs a comforting pat on the back.
I, madam, am no young man, but I did have a disturbing dream, I think. It was unusual. Just being on this damnable thing, trapped all around me, can't move, can't breathe. Sooner back on land, the better.
And as you say that, you hear more screams coming further down from one of the other cabins.
Oh,
Do we recognise the voice?
You do not.
Lance like hurries to put at least on some pants.
Would someone mind helping me up? I struggle.
yes, of course, dear. And do I gotta make a strength check to...
You know what? Yeah, because you're helping this full-grown 45-year-old man. Absolutely.
Do I
Fuck!
need to roll anything, Noah?
You can also roll strength as well.
Woo.
Okay, so with that, you go to help him. You kind of you do kind of fumble a little bit as you go to pull Hubert up, Louise. But he does get up with your help.
Whew, heavier than you look, eh?
Thank you. I appreciate the aid. What is going on here?
And as you hear another voice shouting, like, "Get the fuck off me!" And you actually hear a lot of banging and clattering as you see Louise just passed behind you. You see a few more people kind of run down to another dorm with the door open. Yeah, as you all go to look, after you've after Lance has put their pants back on. I'm assuming you're all in sort of like nightgown, like obviously Louise is in like a nightgown. Is that what she was sleeping?
Like one of
Yeah.
those knee length.
Yeah.
Silk,
Yeah.
silk,
It's
silk
the,
and pajamas.
it's the ugliest thing you've ever seen.
No. Yeah. As you come out and you have a look and you see a few of the other sailors actually holding Danford in a sort of hold as he tries to break out of it, as he just starts screaming at the top of his lungs, begging for them to just let go of him so he can get out.
I take a step forward, and I would like to slap Danford to slap some sense into him.
Oh god.
Calm down, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to roll for that. It's gonna be... I'm gonna say just do a standard strength roll.
Oh, that went wrong.
Oh, that was close.
So here's what's gonna happen. As you go to slap him, he just needs to move out of the way, just like not intentionally, just because he's like trying to get out of this hole. You miss him and slap the guy that is holding him.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to go now, and I start to back away. How big is this person that I've just decided to slap? Please tell me it's not Moose.
It is Moose. You just smacked Moose.
I back away very quickly.
Yeah, as you do that, the like Moose looks at you like wide eyes, like the hell is wrong with you? As you smacked him, and everyone just kind of goes, "Oh no!" As everyone just kind of like, some of them try to push all of you down like a bit further away. They're like, "Move back, move back, move back!" And one's like, "I can't believe you just smacked Moose!" And they're all trying to like push Moose and this other guy like further away. But like all this trouble has just started to happen, and one's like, maybe you should all just go. I don't know, just go somewhere else, because you're gonna get in so much trouble if you keep staying here because you just smacked him, and we've already got enough problems going on. You need to go.
Yes, that is a good idea. Yes. Sort of back away very quickly, whilst trying to maintain my dignity.
Yeah.
In my silken pajamas.
Yeah. They kind of
Before-
stop and they're like, maybe you should get dressed. That would be a good idea. You know what? Go get dressed and then go away. Just make sure you're out of eyesight with them because this is not going to go well.
Yes.
Would this to Lance, because I would assume being working as a bartender, he's probably served a couple of veterans. Would this in any way look reminiscent of someone having a slight PTSD attack, or as it was known at the time, a shell shock moment?
Do you have anything to do with that sort of thing, like with like psychology?
I have a check mark in psychology, yes.
Roll for it.
It's not a 30 though.
I will let you have advantage just this once.
Okay. Didn't help.
No, it did not. You don't know if it is. You just kind of, you're assuming at the moment in time. It could be anything more than but you don't 100% know that.
At least since he is half-dressed, he wouldn't be too concerned, since it's just the shirt that he's missing. But he would at least try to help talk to him and calm him, like he would to a person having a moment at the bar.
Okay, roll fast talk for us.
I still don't know what fast talk is.
Fast talk is where you try to talk someone to make them see something a certain way.
Wouldn't that be persuade?
It could be persuade. Well, yeah, that would be persuade. So fast talk would be actually, it would be persuade, wouldn't it? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because I thought fast talk was like if someone is trying to
Yeah, you're right.
hide information in talking fast too much, or paying attention to quick dialogue.
Yeah, you were correct.
Okay.
Go for it. What?
Oh, nice.
What do you say? That's beautiful.
Well, I would like some context to what the guy is saying first.
basically he's screaming about he can feel it on his skin. Can't you hear it? I need to get out of here. I need to go. He's basically hysterical. He's trying to break out this hold still. His eyes are wide as hell as he just kind of, his eyes are jumping around trying to look for an escape.
Right. Okay. And Moose is kind of holding his arms in lock, I would assume, holding him like.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Lance would grab a hold of his head, make him like kind of force eye contact,
Hmm?
and just calmly tell him like, "There's nothing on your skin. Getting out of here would be a bad idea. We're underwater. It would kill you and us. Um, we're hearing nothing. Just listen, focus on my voice. Can drown it out. Probably just a nightmare. Just like slowly, just talking throwing like just soft-spoken facts at him about like the situation."
So, as you turn his head towards you, his eyes just lock onto yours. And as you talk to him in this soft sort of voice, he just kind of slowly, his fast-paced breathing just slowly calm down before he kind of goes quiet and just kind of nods his head, like agreeing with you. And he's like, okay, you're right. You're right. Okay. And he just keeps repeating himself and repeating what you said to him. And
Need some water.
no.
Need a drink.
No water, nothing. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. And Moose kind of like slowly lets go, and Danford just stands there, just trying to, like, he kind of like any sort of his clothes that he was wearing, he's just trying to smooth them out, and he's like, I'm okay, I'm fine, there's no problem, it's okay.
How are you feeling, dear? Have you calmed down?
Are you saying this to Danford?
Yes.
Yeah. He looks at you and he's very pale and clammy. But he nods his head. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you. And Moose just kind of looks around, kind of rubs his little red cheek where he got slapped by Hubert, and he's like, where did your friend go?
Reference, I have gone back to my room as I was advised for my own safety, and I'm currently getting dressed. Basically, and while I'm getting dressed, I'm absent-mindedly sort of scratching at my arms. Just remembering like the crawly feeling from before.
You feel as if you've got like some sort, like, you know, when you walk and like sometimes it feels like you've got like a spider web's like touched your arm or something like that, and on your face you kind of feel that every now and then.
I'm speaking like, you know, when someone mentions like knits.
Ew, yes.
Gets itchy straight away.
Yes.
That sort of feeling. Which I'm sorry for what I've just done to everybody.
Ew. But yeah.
Welcome.
A few of the crew members.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bitch. Some of them kind of ushered Danford away, and they're like, "Maybe we should go take you to see Annie. Let's go and bring you to the little doctor area. We'll everything will be fine. You just need to take a moment." As they went, and Moose just kind of stood there. Everyone's kind of, the rest of them, about 3 other people, just kind of, they're like, "The hell just happened?"
Yeah, now Lance would be one of them, standing there like, the hell just happened.
Louise approaches. Moose is still there.
Yep.
Yeah. She approaches Moose and she kind of goes, Does this kind of thing happen often?
Not normally. I've never seen him like this either. It was kind of odd. I don't know. This is the second time we've been down to this depths, so maybe it's just kind of gotten to him. I don't know. This whole thing is odd.
Well, no matter what it is that happened. I hope he's doing better. I hope that must have been terribly frightful for everyone.
Just it. I wouldn't say frightened. It was just I've never seen him lose it like that before. But everything will be fine. I'm sorry. You should probably go get changed being around here with all of us just as that. And he kind of like looks up like way too high towards the I wouldn't say ceiling of the hallway that you're in, and he's like, "Yep, you should go. Everyone should go get changed."
That's the moment Louise realizes that, oh, I'm still in my nightgown. How terribly embarrassing.
It's okay. You should go get yes.
Yes.
It's the 20s. I just remembered. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, people didn't really care about people smoking inside and shit, so I'd say Lance probably has a cigarette.
Yeah.
Not in the room though. I would say he has them in like his pants pockets.
Are you having a okay? Are you like smoking in the hallway?
I would say he wouldn't care where he was at the moment, just with considering first the dream, then Hubert having his moment, and then this moment. So now it's kind of just like a de-stress.
Okay. As you go sled up, Moose actually balks at you like, "This is a submarine! Why are you lighting up in here? The oxygen, the pressure!" And he kind of gets a bit panicky himself.
I don't think they were that worried about that in the 1920s.
They weren't, but he seems to be a bit panicky about it.
Wouldn't that be around the engine area, not in the hall?
Oh yeah, normally yeah, but he seems a bit unnerved by everything that's going on. So anything that could freak him out, it's pretty much.
Well, where would I go to have one then?
Just not here. Anywhere else but here. And he starts kind of like wafting his hands like it's gonna do anything to like any difference.
It's okay. We didn't blow up. It's already lit.
And he's like, oh yeah. And he just does a 180 and just walks away. Pretty quickly though, you see the professor shuffling out of his room, and he's like, "Yes, kerfuffle, whatever." And he looks at you, he's like, "How'd you do? Morning or night or whatever?" He's like, "What time is it?" And he kind of like looks at his watch that he always seems to check and fiddle with, and he's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. It's like, "Oh, well, back to work." And he just kind of like shuffles past you, not caring of whatever just happened.
Lance kind of just like ends up leaning against the wall and like slowly slides down it. Like till he like sits.
Oh, bless him. He kind of stops and he's like, are you okay?
Just a lot for that early in the morning, sir.
That is true. That is true.
I normally go off my shift and to bed at this hour.
Ah, so your body clock must be a little bit kerfuffled.
Yeah.
Well, there's always coffee.
Coffee sounds fantastic.
Hey, I have a... Go on.
I am more of a tea drinker myself.
Have you tasted Moose's tea?
I have.
Why do you drink it?
Well, to be frank, it kind of reminds me of my husband's.
Oh.
He's also terrible. He's also very bad at. He's also very bad at making tea.
Lassus jokingly chuckles and like, one sip at a time.
He just awkwardly shrugs and he's like, well, I'm pretty sure you remember where to go at the canteen for that. Otherwise, if you go get, like, breakfast or whatever, your tea, coffee, maybe grab your friend, I don't know, Muffle Fart or whatever it was called, and come back to my area, I'll be able to show you something, if that is okay.
If Hubert heard that, I imagine he'd be very mad.
I don't actually quite care about him, to be honest.
In that exact moment, Hubert walks around the corner and just glares.
Good morning, and he turns away.
I apologise. I was trying to snap him out of it. I obviously misjudged the situation slightly. Yes, I'm not good with people, I'm afraid.
There's nothing to worry about. People is all I deal with.
Did anybody else have these dreams?
I had an uncomfortable dream, but it's not really news to me.
I had a dream as well, but I assume that I assume that we all had similar dreams if we're talking about them.
I wonder. The stuff that I saw in my dreams, would I recognise any of it, Noah?
No, it was something it's not a place you've ever been to or anything like that. It was the most unusual thing to even have dreamt something like that.
Would I recognise any of the symbology that was in there, or the road figures from any of my excavations or any of my other studies that I've done over the years?
You know what? Roll for it.
Am I rolling archaeology or occult?
I would say archaeology.
Archaeology.
Nope. Nope. Well, you can push luck to spend 10 luck to make that a success.
How do I do that?
So you just take 10 off luck. That would make it instantly a success.
Okay. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that.
It's fine.
Just press all the buttons. Yes, I will do that.
So you got 40 luck left.
Yeah.
There we go. It somewhat resembles something that you've been a place you've been to in the past, but not exactly the same. It's like something has changed in it. Maybe something to do with it resembles something to do with that mask where you got the mask from.
Okay.
No, I just noticed something on my thing.
Yes.
On the languages. He has 50 points in one of the languages and 0 in the other.
It's fine. We'll say 50 in that one as well. I noticed that myself. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was just worried if I had accidentally had put points into his mother tongue.
It's okay.
I think he'd understand Swedish.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't worry about that at all. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, you all go to I assume you all get changed.
Lance would go put a shirt on and then go to the cafeteria.
Okay, same with Louise and Hubert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very reluctantly.
Okay, so you get in there. Everyone's kind of mulling around sort of in the cafeteria. You see Moose in his designated spots. You see some people just quietly kind of poking at their food, not really eating or just taking huge gulps of coffee. Moose sees Lance and Louise, kind of gives him a little wave. He's already got trays set up, and he's got empty cups waiting, like ready to make whatever drinks it is that you're wanting. As he spots Hubert, you realize you don't have a tray and you do not have a cup.
Oh no.
As he completely blanks you.
Louise kind of feels bad for Hubert because she kind of gets the feeling that he didn't really mean to
Yeah.
to hit Moose, so she gives him her cup of tea.
Aww.
Good, thank you. And I keep glancing over at Moose worryingly.
He
for the time being.
he kind of watches as Louise gives her cup of tea to Hubert before he goes gets another cup and makes another cup of tea for Louise, for slowly holding a
Aw.
tray out for Hubert with the everything just kind of slopped into one area. It's all mixed up. It doesn't look nice at all, unlike everyone else's.
I would like to apologize to you, Mr. Franklin, was it? I did not mean to strike you then. In my experience with people, when they're having such an episode as that, a short, sharp shock is often the best way to draw them out. And I mistimed and I misjudged, and I am truly sorry.
He listens and he slowly nods his head and he goes, "I understand what you meant to do, but that is not what you should do in that sort of situation. Don't raise your hand again at anyone else."
I understand. And again, I apologize. I am not good with people.
He put
It's obvious.
as he listens to your apology, he kind of puts down the nasty tray of food before he pulls a new one out and starts making it nice and holds it. And he's like, "Okay, just
Oh.
don't do it again.
Thank you.
Whatever." Before he gives Lance another little wink and gets on with his chores.
I would say as Lance is not overly interested in the whole whale thing because he's not, got any idea why he's really here.
Yeah.
He kind of asks Moose if he needs help with anything because he likes to keep his hand busy, kind of like his bar morning routine would have been anyways.
He's like, "Oh, you know what? That would be really kind of you. Yeah, that'd be fantastic." He holds out a hairnet for you. He's like, "Yeah, put this on and come round and you can help me dish out any food or drinks that anyone needs. That would be amazing."
Yeah, I was thinking I could do the dishes. It's usually what I do in the morning.
Sure.
Things ready for the bar.
Sure. He opens like this little side little like door panel thing, and he lets you through, and he brings you around to the back, and there's quite a lot of dirty trays and cups stuff, and he's like, "I've fallen a little bit behind, but any help is grateful."
That's okay. I'm usually working solo in the mornings anyways.
Yeah, it's not fun. That's true. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so Lance goes behind and starts helping to clean up things, and you see the professor kind of wave. He doesn't see Lance. He kind of looks around before he waves at Louise and Hubert to be like, "You need to come and see this."
Question, Noah.
Yes.
Has there been any change to the background noise of the submarine?
There has. It's more movement-wise. While you can still feel the sort of the hum of things, it's not as loud, and it feels like any sort of like the motion, most of the motion has actually stopped.
Interesting.
Okay. I suppose we should see what we have discovered. Something is blatantly going on that we have not been informed of.
Yes. He kind of looks on it. It's like, is your friend still gone back to bed, or?
He was. Oh. He is helping in his own way.
Okay. He goes over to another criminal. It's like, if you see the other contest winner, let them know where we're at and send him our way. And he kind of like turns around. He's like, follow me, and he walks out.
I follow him.
Yeah, I follow him as well.
Okay. And Lance is still doing the cleaning?
Yeah, he's gonna help until it's done.
Okay, sweet. As he leads you two to his area, is like, we're very close. It's actually on the radar. We're very scattered. We've got the scope. We've got everything that we need. It's going to be amazing. This is it. We're going to make the discovery of a lifetime. And I'm like, this is it. We're going to do it. And our names will be in history. And it's going to be glorious.
How big is it?
It's reasonably big. Bigger than what I thought. Take that as you will.
Well, that's all very exciting. How close are we to it?
He kind of looks at his hand. He's like, he's trying to like work something out in his hand as he counts like on the fingers and like the knuckles and stuff. And he's like, maybe 100 feet away.
Oh,
Yes.
Or did we end up that close to it without... I assume we have stopped, yes?
We have. It's actually coming towards us.
oh,
That sounds like a terrible idea.
No.
Have you confirmed what it is yet?
Yes, we've looked. It's a whale.
oh,
Do you have an image of this whale?
He's like, well, we can go get the image of the whale if you would like. But
I
yes.
find personally that peer review is often useful in such situations. As a fellow scientist, you would understand.
I mean, absolutely. We'd have to go to the caption area, and we will have to have a look through there. But yes, if you want to come and see it, absolutely, we could go now.
I feel that maybe we should wait for Lance. I think he would
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
like to see why he's been dragged along.
yes, he seems a bit confused about why he's here, so being left in the dark is probably not the best thing.
So, with Lance, you're there for about 15-ish minutes, just cleaning things. You've done it so many times, it's literally,
Routine.
yeah. And you get it done really fast. It's the usual sort of thing that you're so freaking used to every single day. But you get it done pretty fast, and Moose is actually quite shocked at how fast you've done it. He's like, oh, maybe you should work here full time. Would you ever thought about that, like being on a submarine and stuff?
He like pats him on the back as he walks past him. Like, I prefer my bar.
Drinks, I get it. As you go to, I'm assuming you're going to leave the little area where you've been cleaning. He kind of like overshot is like, you got anyone back home?
Jessica.
Oh, who's okay? And he just kind of goes quiet at that, and he's like, who the hell's Jessica? Is she pretty?
I mean, I think she's beautiful.
Aww.
Aww. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he does a little aw moment, awkwardly scratches like the side of his cheek, and he goes, oh, okay. I'm sorry for keeping you. You probably want to go with the rest, I assume. I don't know where they've gone.
Right. We were here for a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. we've actually stopped. There's word saying that they found it.
The whale?
Yeah, which is weird, right?
I mean, I guess they're big creatures, and if they had a way to track it, I don't understand this type of technology.
Okay, let me explain. So we travel at a speed of roughly 11,000 noctil miles a day, I guess you could say. This is like a 4 diesel engine on this submarine. We travel mainly at 20 knots, so that's like what. I think he has a moment where he's trying. You know when someone's trying to, like, you see the cogs turning, and like it's slowly getting there, and it's like 23 miles per hour. I don't think we should ever be able to catch up to a whale.
Maybe it turned around?
Maybe. This whole thing is baloney to me, so. But I guess that's just my own thoughts. But yeah, you go and do what you need to do, I guess, and then get home to Jessica.
Oh,
Yeah, I just hope she has enough food.
Why would she not have enough food? Could she not go out and get food herself?
No, I don't. No. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry to have pried. You, yeah, and he kind of, like, shuffles away, like, oh, I've pried too much, gotta go.
I guess Lance would just make a guess that it would be where we heard like the sounds the other day, so he would try to find his way there.
Yeah, so as you come out, a natural another one, you remember them calling him Harold, which is like one of Moose's friends. It's like, oh yeah, the professor came and took the other two away to his little area. He told him to let you know where they're at.
Oh, okay, and that was where we were yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's I'm assuming it is. There's a little thing with the headphones and stuff.
Yeah, I think I remember the way.
Would you like someone to take you there?
Sure, just keep the hand holding to a minimum,
He's like, oh yeah, for sure, no problem. And he goes into like hold your hand, like, oh, before he laughs awkwardly and goes, I'm sorry. And
I will say he jokingly takes his hand.
And he's like, let's go. And he okay, and he kind of like leads you out. Are you still holding his hand?
Yeah.
Okay, he's leading you by the hand. And he's like, okay, so this is obviously it's where the canteen is. We go down here, we go up these stairs, and here it is. And like peeks and he's like, oh, there's no one. Oh, and then he kind of looks around. He's still holding your hand awkwardly. You feel his palms getting a bit sweaty because he's like, okay. Before he finds someone else and he's like, where have they got? And the other guy's like, oh, they've gone to the captain's bit at the front to look through the thing. And he's like, oh, and he kind of drags you, kind of forgetting that he's on your hand. He kind of like starts marching down. He's like kind of pulling you a little bit.
Yeah, no, you just follow along the whole hand, just like giving the other person a smile. Like, yeah, this is happening.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, and he gives like a awkward thumbs up, like, I don't know what's going on. As you are dragged all the way there, and he's like just talking about like how far the submarine's gone, what stuff it's done, like it's had a few knocks, but it's standing strong and all that jazz. And he's like, oh, Moose is a good guy, you should talk to Moose more. Like everyone kind of like, because he's so tall and stuff like that, like they kind of take the wrong view on him, but he's a really nice guy. He's like a gentle giant.
No, I worked with him in the kitchen earlier today.
Oh, that's nice. No one ever normally helps him, so that's lovely.
No, I did all the dishes.
Aw, that's very kind of you. You should maybe you should like work on the submarine or something, like with Moose.
Prepare my bar,
Yeah.
thank you.
And he's like, "Oh, yeah. I mean, all the ladies, all the men, you know, the drinks, the good times, the music. Or what can go wrong in a bar?
Oh, a lot.
Oh yeah. What's the most silliest, stupidest thing that's happened in your bar?
Well, you know those like little like old like those comic strips they do with like the fisticuffs
Yeah.
fighting.
Hmm.
I think it was two gentlemen that had never actually been in a fist fight before, so they actually thought that's how you fight.
So he just kind of stops, throws his head back, and he just like bursts out laughing, and he's like, "There's some idiots out there."
Yeah, like fisticuff fighting like it was like a little comic.
Oh, you know what? I might have paid to see that. Mainly just to laugh at them and to show them how it's really done. But all right.
I did win some money on bets that night, so that was.
Oh, you do betting?
Well, of course, if there's a fight, there's gonna be drunk people betting on who's gonna win it.
Ah, you got a point. You got a point. Anyway, here is the place, and he kind of pulls up, and he's like, "There you go. You have fun with your friends." And he goes to walk away, but he's kind of forgot that he's still kind of holding your hand a little bit, and he kind of yanks you a bit, and he's like, "Oh, apologies." And he lets go, and he's like, "You have fun," and he runs.
Lance is gonna seduce the whole crew. Oh my god.
Not
Line.
intentionally either. He's just a people person.
Yeah, as you get there, it's only a couple, about 2-3 minutes before you actually see Lance come through. You see the professor, the captain, a few people kind of working at their selected areas, and you see Hubert and Louise. And what's that pole thing called again that they look through?
Periscope.
Periscope, thank you. I don't know why my mind's like forgotten that it's called a periscope. You see the periscope is down, and you see the professor kind of like looking through it, kind of turning before he's like, there it is, there it is, there it is. Before he kind of he just moves when he's like, look, go and look.
After you, Mr. Mufflefort.
Why, thank you. And I step up and I have a look through the periscope.
It seems to be a lot closer than 100 feet, but you do actually see a whale. You don't really know like what kind of different whales kind of look like. They're all kind of sort of the same thing, this blob in the ocean and stuff like that. But it's reasonably big. You kind of assume that all whales are sort of that big, but you definitely do see a whale.
Is there anything unwhale-like about it from what I can see? Based on my very limited knowledge of whales.
Would you like to roll for that?
No, natural world?
Yeah.
Oh god. No.
It was close though.
It was very close.
A lot closer than enemy went to it.
It's a whale. It is a swimming blob in the ocean. It looks like what you assume any other whale would look like.
I turn round to Dr. Harrison. I say, well, Dr. Harrison, it looks like you have actually found what you were looking for. Congratulations.
Thank you
Would anybody
so
else
much.
like to see?
Yep.
Would anybody else like to look?
Yeah, I can. Yes, I would very much like to see this rumored whale. And
I would say like right before Louis starts to speak, Lance just kind of does like a after you motion.
thank you. And Louise looks inside the periscope. And can I also do a check to see if
Yeah,
there's anything?
absolutely. As I want you to do 2 checks for us. I want you to do that check that Hubert did, the natural world.
Yes.
And I also want you to roll a spot hidden for me.
First natural world. And
Okay.
then where's spot hidden?
It's on the right, about halfway down.
It's under science.
Yeah. Would you like me? You make noises like me. I'm so happy. So it's all alphabetical.
Yes. You said it was
On the right under science.
right under science. I can't. What did you say I was gonna roll?
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Oh, so.
Okay.
Oh, I was so close.
You can spend a luck point to make it a success.
Yeah, that's literally just one
How
luck.
many?
It's literally just 1 point of luck that you spend,
Yeah,
especially that.
yeah.
Okay. So you've at some point you've kind of looked through magazines of like whales, like it's been a random thing that you've casually gone through. Compared to that, the whale pitch that you've seen, this one looks different than normal whales that you've seen. It's more the colorization, like it's got markings on its back, that sort of thing. But as you kind of look at it, you kind of see a shadow kind of behind it before the shadow is gone.
Louise furrows her brows and she goes, "That's very impressive, Professor Blake, but that whale looks very unusual, and are you sure it's the only thing out here? Because I think I saw something just now right behind it."
Yeah, there's nothing on the He kind of looks around at the captain. He's like, "There's nothing else," and they're all like shaking their heads, like, "No, didn't. It's just the whale."
Well, maybe maybe it was just a trick of the eye, but the markings on the whale are very unusual, I have to say.
They are. I think it's a type of hybrid between two different kind of whales, which is weird because they shouldn't even be able to do something like that.
And you said it was swimming towards us?
Yes, at a reasonably fast speed. It won't like go into us or anything like that, but it seems to be coming closer.
Lance, why don't you take a look?
Yeah, sure.
Roll the same sort of thing, natural world and spot hidden for me, please.
Oh, so close!
Got that one though.
Oof.
I use luck on the natural world one.
Okay. So, same sort of thing. You see that it has a different type of coloration on its back, some type of markings, kind of like like sort of stripes kind of going along the body. As you're looking at this whale, that seems it is coming closer. Something happens as you're looking at this, and he's actually as you're looking at this, the professor flicks a few switches and you hear like the noises of the whale, the high-pitched noise that you originally heard when he went to show you. As you are listening to this, a giant, I guess you could say, hand sort of grabs the whale, and you hear this loud shriek noise coming through the speaker as you hear something that reverberates, that it feels like the whole sub is shaken, and it's too loud for your ears, and this is what you hear. It's...
What was that?
And you just see some people kind of clamp their hands over their ears in pain as to how loud it is, and you feel like it's shaking like inside.
Can we see the sonar from where we are?
Yes.
Does it still look like one thing?
No.
Oh
No,
my
it does
God.
not.
He
Oh
said I
my-
saw a hand.
It's the hand is so the whale, think of it like, how big would it be? If you were to compare it to double-decker buses, it would be two of them put together. This hand literally grabs hold of it. So basically the hand is the size of like a whole double-decker bus. Long, gangly sort of fingers, that kind of, as it grabs into the whale and it lets out this shriek where you hear that noise, they seem to puncture the whale and basically blood starts coming out of it.
Oh no.
I
poor
do
Professor
need
George.
yeah, I'm gonna need all of you to roll sanity for me, because this is like, first of all, Lance, this is don't call me out, shut up. Lance, as this is something weird and surreal that you've just seen, and also the noise that you heard and the noises that you both heard through the sub. Okay. Oh no. So. Okay. So.
I mean, I would say Lance's failure makes sense because what he just saw.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did not see it, though.
You did not see it, but you definitely heard it. I'm going to need you all to roll a d6 for me, please.
Oh,
That's fine.
lows are good, Neil. Remember this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's how much sanity you have lost.
I passed.
No.
I passed and I lost sanity. No, what witchcraft is this?
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, sorry. Hubert von
Hubert.
Mufflefort. Ignore that. So you'll see you lose that amount of sanity. So
I notice the sudden change in the room with everybody in terms of their mood. Because obviously I'm not looking at the thing, I've just noticed the
yeah, so
change and I heard it.
you heard it, you saw people kind of clap their hands over their ears, kind of like yelling out in pain. You see with Louise and Lance, they're actually stricken with fear and panic. Kind of in shock.
I would say Lance hasn't let go of the thing. He would like have frozen, kind of like just holding on to it, visibly like hands shaking. Like might be a little rattle sound from the thing he's holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
And Louise is clutching her wedding ring in her hands.
In Johnston, I feel it would be prudent for us to be away from this place immediately, if you could.
As you say that, he kind of gets grips with himself, kind of moving his hands from his ears, and he's like, "Turn around, turn!" And everyone's kind of like starts kind of like getting out of it a little bit. Some people are still kind of stood there, kind of in shock. As some of them kind of start darting around, and then he's kind of like, get ready, and everyone's like going crazy and absolutely mental. I need, I would like Lance and Louise to roll a d100 for us as well, please.
Oh god.
I'll try to find this page again. 1 moment while I try and say it, because I've lost the page. There we go, I found it. Okay, so we've got a 63. Okay. And a 31. Okay. So this is gonna be so I don't know how I'm gonna like do that. Okay. So with Lance, for the next few minutes, you are I'm gonna say insane for a couple of minutes, where you have the urge to set fire to things.
Oh god!
Me?
Not in the submarine.
Oh god, Louise.
Shouldn't be much flammable stuff in here though. The most you can light is cigarettes over and over.
Louise,
Yeah.
you have the random fear of water. You've got
Oh.
the next few minutes.
Suddenly, Louise is like cold sweating. Her eyes are wide open as she realizes she's surrounded by endless water.
Yeah, do you feel that fear, that hysteria kind of sort of setting in a little bit?
Would a way to handle the setting fire to things, because I'm assuming like it's a random moment of pyromania,
Yes.
kind of like hunched over, lighting matches and just watching them slowly burn and relighting a new one and watching it just slowly burn down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hubert, you see this. You see the two people that have come into this room with you. One's randomly lighting match after match, watching them burn down, dropping it to the floor, doing it. And you see Louise going to the cold sweat, starting to panic.
So I look at them both and I shout, Lance, Louise, are you two okay? Do I get any reaction?
There's. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. She can't say anything else. She's just.
Do I recognise this as a similar sort of reaction to the one that I had earlier in terms of the claustrophobia and the minor panic attack? Would I recognise that? I presume I would.
You notice a panic attack when you see you've had enough of them to realise that this is a panic attack.
So I go up and it's like, quickly dear, take a little bit of this, and I've got a little bit of medicine still with me. There's not much left. It's like, take this, it'll calm your nerves, it'll help. Just a little bit.
Louise grabs it and fucking swigs.
Oh no. I hope there's some in the nurses' quarters to replenish that. Are you okay? Just sit down a moment. It may make you feel slightly drowsy.
Yeah.
And I move
on
to Lance. I move on to Lance very quickly. Lance?
He's just
You
like
okay?
intensely staring at the match just smettering burn, like over and over and over again.
I want to grab his hands and just say,
Ooh.
We need you now. Pull yourself together. We're stuck in here. If one of those matches goes off in the wrong place, we won't make it away. Can you hear me?
As you're grabbing him while he's setting matches, I need you to roll a sleight of fantasy that you miss getting yourself burnt, Hubert.
Okay. Oh no, I'm on the wrong screen. On that screen. Sleight of hand.
Yes, please.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you lose 2 hit points, and you have
a match.
I have been burnt by matches, even safety matches. They are not safe.
I would still say two hit points from a match is a lot.
He's an old man.
Yeah, he's frail. His skin is thin.
He sleeps in silk pajamas. Regular pajamas.
Exactly.
Tender skin.
Yeah.
Is he made out of wood? Pinocchio? Is that you?
Pinocchio. Oh yeah, he's Swedish. Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, no, two damage. You just grab his hands in the wrong way with him doing the matches. You accidentally clasp onto the match, and it burns the palm of your hand. You've got a nice little mark, a little dint into your hand where the match was still lit, and you just put your hands against it.
I try and snatch the box of matches and throw it away from him.
Do you want to fight against that, Lance?
I don't know. Like, how do I know when I'm snapped out of the insanity or not?
You've got another couple of minutes left until you snap out of it, as everyone's kind of trying to turn the submarine and go into the opposite direction. People are going crazy.
I would say he's not fighting against it. He just starts crawling after the box.
Okay. Yeah, everyone's going crazy. Everyone's shouting random things. Some people are actually doing random things. One person's kind of like fetal, covering the rays, rocking backwards and forwards. As some people try to smack them out of it. Some missing, as Hubert does. Some making the connection. But everyone seems to have had this moment of insanity going on. Obviously, Hubert, you grab the matches away from Lance. Lance is kind of like wanting to go after them. Louise is still, obviously, you've had that drink. You feel that calming sort of effect as it slowly somewhat calms down. Lance, you kind of slowly come out of it a little bit too, as you see the kind of like the havoc happening in the submarine right now. And you hear in the distance lots of shouting and yelling, as it seems to be all over the submarine. Issues are happening. As you hear the noise happening again.
Where's Dr. Harrison?
He's literally just kind of stood there in shock. Harrison?
Is it Harrison?
Oh,
No.
yeah, the professor. Yeah, the professor.
Yeah.
He's just kind of stood there with his mouth open like,
Harrison, what have you dragged me into?
Nothing. What do we do? We're in a submarine. We're 900 something feet underwater, something big, and you hear like the little beeping as something seems to be getting closer and closer as this submarine is trying to get away.
What did you both see? Describe it to me now, quickly.
A shadow. What did you see, Lance?
The whale. It got grabbed, smothered by a hand.
And?
A hand.
A hand?
I assume the submarine's now moving away, or trying to move away.
It's trying to move away as you hear the noise again, as it seems to be getting closer.
Louis, can I check through the periscope again?
Absolutely.
We shouldn't only be going away, we should be going up.
Louis checks in the periscope.
You don't even need to roll for this, as you kind of turn around and try to see what this thing is, you do actually get a glimpse of it. As you turn it around, you see somehow there's a light under the ocean. You don't know why, but it's this light coming from like maybe the submarine or something. You see multiple eyes reflected back at you, and a hand that just seems to miss.
Louise steps away from the periscope, and she, God, oh God Almighty, and she points at the periscope with her hand trembling. One hand is covering her mouth. That is monster.
I put my hand on her shoulder. Say, calm down, dear. Go and see if you can help any of the crew. They need your strength right now. Keep yourself busy.
Louise looks at Hubert for a second, she it, for a second she doesn't even really see him. She just looks past him, but then she kind of snaps out of it and she nods and she's like, yes, of course. There's no time to stand around and be afraid.
That's the spirit.
I'll go and try and help wherever I can. And Louise leaves to go and find anyone who seems to be in need of help.
Okay, it doesn't take you that long to even find help. As the captain's barking orders that they need to go up and further away, he actually starts yelling about getting the torpedoes ready to try and push it back. Yeah, a few people kind of like still rocking back and forth. Some people just kind of laughing to themselves hysterically. Huge smiles on their faces, and they're just laughing because they don't know how to deal with whatever this is, whatever's taken hold of them. You do hear... Sorry, go on.
I would like to, because I've still not seen this thing.
Go for it.
I would like to have a look through the periscope. And I want to see if I recognise what this is from any of my more unusual studies that I've done across the years of myth and magic and legends and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need to roll to see it because it's there. It's huge. You see the hands, the claws, sort of thing. The 6 eyes staring back at you, being reflected back by some sort of light. This huge hulking thing. You actually see in one of its hands half of that whale that you saw. It looks like it's been bitten in half. It is gone completely.
Sushi. I
do want you to roll the occult for this because you want to see if you can remember it, or even archaeological.
Like,
you can spend 10 luck.
I don't want to spend any more. I'm going to spend 10 luck.
Okay, you don't.
Oh, stop doing that.
It's fine.
Not how you do it.
No, it's good.
No, I don't have 0.3 luck now. I have 30. There
you
we
do.
Go.
You've, throughout the years of your archaeological digs and works and stuff, you've seen odd little things that would maybe somewhat resemble this, from things from thousands and thousands of years ago. Not always shown as into the ocean, but always maybe something that's above the ocean, hulking, huge, and standing over people and so on and so forth. That's really, you've never thought anything more of it. You just thought, oh, this is them saying they had a leader or something from this sort of time era. But you know, art sometimes erodes and can cause misshapen sort of things. Maybe it was something like that, but this somewhat resembles some of the stuff you've seen throughout the years.
I just mutter under my breath, Creo Quill Absurdum Est.
Roll sanity.
Oh, no. Whoop whoop.
Okay, for some reason you're rolling very well with your sanity. You've seen some shit throughout the years. You all feel the submarine just kind of with the movement and stuff going, and obviously the screams and that's going on, and this thing that with the beeping seems to be getting closer as it gets louder, as it goes up, trying to get away. You see Danford burst into the room with a sort of scalpel in his hand, waving it in front of him, screaming.
Oof.
Well, that doesn't look good.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Let's see.
I tried to slap him last time, so
he is crazed. His eyes are wide. His hair is tousled mess. Some of his uniform is actually kind of ripped to it. Like some people have tried to grab him to stop him, and he's just managed to get away. But he's
super quick psychoanalysis on him.
Mm-hmm.
Does he look like someone who would be obviously the crazed and the mental, but they'd be able to coordinate what they're trying to do with what they're actually doing? Does that make sense?
Do you mean like does he understand what he's doing and shit like that?
Yeah, as in, is it not that he's fully in control, but if he was to, he's obviously going mental.
Mm.
Does it look like there's any way he'd be able to be talked down or potentially medicated down with the right things? Or
With the way that he looks and the way that he's just randomly like waving this scalpel in front of him, it doesn't pretty much look like it. But as you do kind of look at him, he does already have blood on his actual clothes as well.
is it his blood?
You don't know.
Does he look like he has injuries?
Roll a spot hidden just to make sure that you can like register with the way that his clothes is.
I don't know what that just rolled. Hey!
So a mixture. So it looks like he's actually cut himself a little bit, like on his arms and wherever he's got some bare skin kind of showing from like where he's had a tussle. But the amount of blood that's on like the side and across like his face and stuff looks like someone else's, because he doesn't look like he's done enough harm to himself. As he kind of waves and he walks further in, and he's like, "You've done this to yourselves!" Ah! And he's just like waving it, and he kind of lunges for the closest person.
Lance, you're good with people.
He is actually lunging for Lance.
Lance, look out!
So Lance, I don't know if you want to do a dodge roll for us.
Sure.
I did not fetch a gun with me, did I?
No.
Okay. So you see Danford lunge forward to Lance, because Lance is like the closest person as he came into the room. Beside everyone else kind of like screaming and stuff, he lunges forward, like slashing and trying to stab. He actually does make a connection with Lance. He actually manages to catch you in the top right shoulder with the scalpel. He just kind of like jabs it into you, dealing 6 damage. As this thing just penetrates into you. And he's just pushing it. He's like trying to push it all the way in.
I have to ask, because by that logic, I don't think you have done my HP.
1 second. Your HP is 10, yeah.
So a scalpel to the shoulder nearly kills me.
Mm-hmm.
If he hits an artery, then yes.
I don't think plasters are going to do any good, are they? Ah. I move forward to try and... Is there anything nearby I could use to potentially restrain him? Or I could figure something out to help restrain him.
Roll the look for us.
Look.
Yeah.
No.
You in the moment you don't really see anything that you can use to like grab hold and hit him with. What's everyone else doing?
Have I found anyone that I can?
Yeah,
help?
you've actually helped someone. You found someone who was kind of like rocking backwards and forwards, and you actually managed to like make them look at you. You spoke in that calm, sort of mothery voice that you have, that you've done so well throughout the years, because obviously your children, looking after them, all that sort of stuff. You do manage to get someone to actually calm down enough to where they're just taking deep breaths as they kind of look around, like trying to understand like what just happened.
Louise looking at this person is going, "You're doing great. I know this is a very scary situation, but right now all you need to do is breathe."
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. And he keeps taking deep breaths as he looks around. Ooh. I'm gonna need... Go on.
Would I have any of my possessions on me, like, for example, my Bible?
You are a religious man. I feel like you would always have something religious on you, on your person.
I would like to pull my Bible out.
Mm-hmm.
put my hand on it and hold it sort of forward. And basically, I want to try and do a power of Christ compels you sort of thing. Because he's been driven insane by monster thing, to just try and either distract him or force him back, hoping that the religious symbology will affect him in some way. I don't hold much hope.
I'll just do this. No.
No.
No work. He just looks at you with wide eyes as he's still got this scalpel in Lance.
I literally throw the Bible at his head.
Roll
Because it's-
throw for us.
Where is the...
It's under science.
Oh.
As you roll that,
no.
Lance, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
Lance?
Yeah, no, I'm looking through the skills. There's not really.
As you have a look, I'll just describe this. So, Hubert von Mufflefort, the 15th. After it sort of fails that he's doing like the power of Christ compels you, launches the Bible and just misses completely, hitting Danforth. It smacks against the wall and just flops to the floor.
Those bells. Why did I agree to come on this stupid trip?
As this is happening, there's the captain literally screams like, brace, as you feel something connect with the submarine. I'm gonna need everyone to just do a standard strength roll. Just see if they can grab onto something and successfully hold on safely.
Why did I give them
Yes!
a decent first aid and a rubbish medicine?
So Hubert and Louise managed to grab onto something very close by and hold on as you feel the submarine knot and shake. Sort of this weird equilibrium sort of effects that will happen before it continues with what it's doing. As the captain's like, fire, and you hear that like things of the sound of metal locking and being pushed out and all that jazz. Lance, unfortunately, because of what's happened with Danforth and the shock of it all, doesn't quite manage to grab onto something quite safe and just kind of goes tumbling a little bit. What is everyone doing?
Has he tumbled away from...
He's tumbled away from Danforth, yeah. Danforth went flying himself in a different direction and just crumbles to the floor, screaming.
I just shout, first aid kit! Is there a first aid kit here?
So some people kind of like look around and they're like, yeah. As one person kind of like runs towards like the door, we actually see where he's ran to. There's like a little first aid kit there. As he pulls it off the little stand that it's in, and he comes running over and opens it.
I
And
would like to try and patch up Lance as best I can to stop him bleeding out.
can you roll medicine for me?
Medicine or first aid?
Ooh, first aid.
First aid. Because I've got a kit, do I have advantage?
Sure.
No, it's fine.
Okay, shit, extreme success. Yeah, you see what the problem is. You see what obviously where you got stabbed, the blood. You managed to put pressure down, calming the sort of the blood flow, slowing it down a little bit. You see gauze, you see bandages and stuff like that. Describe what you do to help Lance.
So, I press down, I get the crewman who's over to keep on pressing down while I get the gauze and some stuff over it, give it a quick clean out with whatever sort of version of cleaning fluid that'll be there. It won't be wipes, I'd assume at that point.
Yeah.
And I quickly wrap around really tightly using the bandages and tape to hold it in place. I just shout, we need to get him to the infirmary. This won't hold for too long. Lance, are you okay? Are you with us?
Thank you. I'll manage. Where's the infirmary?
So you do remember, we'll say that they did take you there. You do remember that it is below deck where the infirmary is?
Someone take him. Anyone? Harrison, you've done nothing so far. Open the infirmary.
What? You are so mean to Harrison. Jesus Christ.
I
Yeah.
think right now, I think I have every reason to be mean to Harrison.
Okay. So as you kind of say that, you hear the scream of this creature as these torpedoes actually hit their mark. It kind of gets pushed back a little bit from the force. As you do shout at the professor, he kind of goes, oh, and he kind of snaps out of it, and he looks at you all, and he's like, oh, shit, as he runs over, and he goes to, he's like, kind of like, trying to pull Lance up as fast but safely as possible. And he's like, yes, we'll go to the infirmary, we'll be okay. Don't you worry about a thing, we're going to be okay. And you kind of see that he's trying to make himself believe it more than anything as he says this to you, Lance.
One should restrain him. But he points to, was it Denver?
Danforth. Jesus Christ.
Close enough.
Yeah, very close enough. And you see that he's like, oh shit. And you will kind of look into, as you see as Danforth kind of like, he's trying to get to, he kind of sits up a little bit, and just kind of starts to scream again, and starts kind of looking around for something to use as a weapon. Some people kind of jump on top of him to try and stop him, as everyone else is trying to make sure the submarine is going where it needs to go, which is away and up. But yeah, go on.
Is there any blunt instruments nearby?
Do a spot hidden for me, please. Anyone else can roll this. Okay.
Oh.
If anyone else wants to roll it, you're more than welcome to. As you kind of look around, you do see there is a few blunt objects on the around, which is basically like like a small little like fire extinguisher sort of thing going on. You do see some of them kind of dotted around that you possibly could use to hit someone with.
I am going to do what I do best and diffuse the situation using violence, and I'm going to smack him over the head to try and knock him unconscious so that he's no longer a threat.
Do it.
I roll a what?
That would be... So I'm going to say it would be a brawl.
Okay.
Because it is a handheld sort of thing.
No. I've just killed a crewman.
So, this is what everyone sees, as Hanford holds this small little fire extinguisher in his hand, goes to hit Danford on the head, misses it, and just keeps going with the swing before it clanks against something else, just missing another crew member.
Please
And
tell
then...
me something else wasn't Moose.
no, the crew member that you miss is like, whoa, hey!
Does anybody have a better idea right now?
They're like, just get out, we got this, we go. And as some of them kind of jump on top of Danforth, as the professor starts to lead Lance out, and he's like, are you okay? Are you in pain? We won't be, we'll get there fast. It'll be okay. You are safe. As you continue to hear screams, and obviously the creature making noises, shaking the sub with how loud it is.
You don't hear Hubert shout, "He's been stabbed, you stupid prat! Of course he's not okay. Just get him to the infirmary."
You're not doing shit! As he continues to take Lance to he's like, fuck you! As he continues to take Lance to the infirmary, where you see a woman, kerfuffled. She's got...
On his way there, though, Lance will be on the lookout for whoever the blood that was not his could have potentially come from, if there's like a track or anything that leads in any direction.
Would it be a spot hidden for that? Because it's blood on the floor. You know what? Yeah, you don't need to roll for that. You do see a trail of blood. No, it's pretty much silver floor. You're gonna see blood streaks from it. Yeah, there's quite a bit of blood. You do actually see a few people just kind of who are hurt. They've just either got slashed by him. It's very shallow, nothing much. They're just kind of in shock. But you do see one person who is laid down on the floor, not moving.
Is it the nurse?
It is not the nurse.
I would say Lance stops the professor and like slowly moves toward the person to check if they're still alive.
As you do this, the person runs over and turns them over to try and check them. You do see along the this is gonna be a word abdominum
Here we go.
the stomach area.
English with Noah.
English is bad. Has been completely and deeply slashed open, where you do see the entrails hanging out, and it's someone who looks very familiar.
No. Is it Coland?
It is not Copeland. It is.
No.
It is Franklin Rowland, known as Moose.
Oh no.
Yeah, but you just what blank stare. No, like, yeah, completely cut open. You see his insides just hanging out.
Hubert just says, "Oh, just like David and Goliath," with his wonderful sense of taste and timing.
What is the professor wearing?
Professor is just wearing a standard. He's got smart pants, but like a woolly sort of jumper with like the most terrible bow tie design you can ever see, and a white sort of lab coat.
Okay. Lance closes Moose's eyes and kind of slightly forcefully takes the lab coat to put over him.
He's like, "What? Well, hold on a second. That is mine." As you easily take it off of him, and you do cover him with it.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, he's kind of in shock, and he's like, "But that was mine." As he leads you, basically towards the infirmary. You do see a woman there, brown hair, bob. On the door, it would be like written in like sort of marker on this little sign at the front, where a piece of paper is kind of hung and splattered with a bit of blood. Annie Tuttle. As you see, she's kind of trying to help a lot of people in there. Not that they're all hurt, but just the fact that they've had some sort of forced insanity upon them. This poor woman's trying to deal with it all.
Nurse.
And she's like, what? Is there more?
There's a lot more. Tell me, do you have some form of fast-acting sedative? There's been an altercation on the bridge, and someone may need to be medicated for their own safety.
As you do this, as she's trying to help someone, she kind of points to it's kind of a mess. Some stuff's knocked over, some bottles are smashed into the floor. You do see there's a few actual bits of like sedatives and other barbiturates and other things kind of shoved onto the shelf that I've managed to survive the hit.
I take 2 lots, I pocket one, and I shout one of the more able crewmen who do not look like they're about to go completely insane. I say, "Quickly, take this to the bridge. They need it to help subdue Danforth.
Whatever his name is. They do it, they grab it, and they just run in that direction.
I've applied a kit to Lance to try and stem the bleeding. I suspect it will need stitches and a proper sterilization of the wound, however.
You feel, as you do that, you know what, roll for that, fuck it. That would be a medicine, that would be a medicine for that one.
Oh no, I'm not. This is a fail.
Would you like to describe how you fail that?
Question.
Yes, my child.
Just repeat what he was doing.
I was explaining to the nurse what I'd already done with the first aid.
Yeah, because of obviously with the stress of everything, it didn't quite come out as he wanted.
So, I can't do the impression very well, but imagine when Boris Johnson is giving one of his rambling speeches, where it just goes, "Arr." It comes out a bit like that, when nobody has any idea what he's saying, including himself, realistically. And it's probably not even accurate anyway.
She kind of looks at you, nods as she's trying to help another person, looks at Lance, and she's like, "Okay, I understand." She's like, "What did you do?" to him to help?
Oh, I got the thing and I wrapped it round and yes, random Latin word and yes, that.
Okay, sure. As you feel the submarine shake again, as there's another connection with it, would you like to roll strength again, see if you manage to grab hold of something? Do you want to spend luck for that, Hope? Lance?
Wouldn't Lance be, because he was being helped?
Exactly, so...
Would he not have, because he's being assisted?
You know what, yeah, you've got a point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Roll advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's only going to be higher, probably. Oh, no.
Mm.
5.
I mean, yeah, you could push that to succeed, absolutely.
Sure.
What about Louise?
Well, Louise is actually probably on the way to, you know, to find Annie to the med bay, because she's got a feeling that most people in there probably need help, and that's where she will be the most useful.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, you go past the same sort of people. Obviously, some people with just like little slashes, nothing too dangerous. And obviously, you do walk past somebody who has a like a lab coat draped over them. Before you get there, obviously the ship gets the submarine gets knocked again, and you hear this creature just booming in your ears as it's getting closer and closer, and obviously it makes the connection with the submarine. But you do get there. Let's see how much we've got left. That was okay. So as you get there, you hear sort of screaming as some people start running, like from like 2 levels like below you and stuff. They start running up, and they basically are like, close the doors, as they then start to panic that water is coming on board.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think we need a plan, because this is not going well right now, and I am not dying on this tin can.
Louise is once again, she clutches her wedding ring, and for a second she closes her eyes and she thinks about her husband and her kids and everyone who's waiting for her home. And then she takes a deep breath, opens her eyes, and says, "Okay, we need to make sure that everyone stays organized. We need to make sure that everyone who's still sane stays sane, and those who are hurt, they need to be gathered, and those who are sane need to help those who are hurt. We can't possibly do anything get up to the surface faster. The only thing we can do is make sure that none of us sabotage ourselves from the inside."
Yes. That is a very good point. Harrison?
Yes.
Pay attention, you got us into this mess. What? Don't talk, listen. What the hell is that thing? It looks familiar, but I do not know why.
I don't know. I didn't even get to see it. I don't know.
Would it be fair to say, do you think, that it was hunting potentially the whale that you discovered?
maybe there's a possibility. I mean, that could be why it was swimming towards us, maybe. Yes, I would say there's a possibility.
Why would it be hunting that whale? There's thousands of whales in the ocean. Why that one?
Could be that it was the closest one. Maybe that's why it was the only one there. Maybe it ate the others. I don't know.
What was unusual about that whale? What was it that made you excited? Remind me.
It's a hybrid. Only one of its kind we ever heard. As you feel like the submarine just kind of starts to shake, you hear loud kind of sort of screeching noises against it. And you feel like all movement stops.
Gentlemen, why have we stopped?
I don't know. We need to. I mean, the engine is probably where they blocked everything off. Something could be wrong with the engine. That's the only way I could think of. We'd have to go and ask. As you see Annie just kind of continuing trying to help people, and she goes over to make sure that Lance is okay and comfortable as much as possible, considering.
Lance, how are you feeling? Have you got anything, any stuff that you brought on board with you that you'd like us to grab for you?
As bad as it sounds, maybe my guitar.
Yes, I'm sure. It was on your bunk, yes?
Yes.
Okay. We shall make sure we can get you that in a moment. Just hold on there. The nurse will make sure you're okay.
Yeah, and she's kind of like making sure that the bandage is nice and tight for the pressure and stuff, making sure just tighten it if not. And she's like, "You're all right, hon?"
Yeah, I think I'll manage.
Okay, that's good. He did very well putting the pressure on, and the wrapping is very good. You're gonna be okay. We're gonna get out of this, whatever this is. How deep are we? As she says, it just kind of looks over at the professor, and he's like, I don't know, before we came here, about 200 feet deep.
I know it's dangerous. Is there any way for us to just go straight up at pace?
I am not the captain. I don't know this sort of thing. I don't know. I just do biology shit.
Okay, point. You are a biologist, yes?
Yes.
Let us assume that this thing is a hunter.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, in a way.
And it was potentially hunting that whale, and now it is hunting us.
Okay.
Is there any way we could distract it? Do you think? I'm not convinced shooting torpedoes at it is really going to do the job somehow.
I don't know if something else comes around or something else moves and then catches its attention. No, it had us in its sights, I'm assuming, so...
Is there anything we could launch out of the submarine somehow that's making sound similar to the whale that could distract it? Or could we transmit the whale sound somewhere to draw it away?
He kind of has a moment of, you see, he's kind of like, oh! And he kind of starts moving, he's like, maybe we could maybe attach that onto... Okay, how about this? We have a sound device in my room. We could technically put the sound on repeat. I don't know how long it would last, maybe a couple of seconds or so, but we could technically attach it to something and fire it out in a random direction.
Well, that's good. That's something.
It could work. Okay, okay.
Is anybody good with mechanical devices?
No, I'm not, but maybe there's someone who we could go find someone. Could find someone. This is the submarine. There will be someone. We could go look. We could find someone to do this.
Would the engine area make sense?
I don't know if we can get to the engine area because that's where the people came from and they locked the doors.
It's a fair point. Is there any way of communicating through the ship without running through the thing?
I mean, we do have these little, and on the wall, as he points, there's like a little, oh god, what's it called? It's a device, what the intercom. Thank you very much. Brain fart. You do see an intercom on the door. You have passed some on your stay in the ship already, but yeah, there's a little intercom just on the ship, and he's like, we could ask that.
You know the crew better than we do. Find somebody. This might be our best chance.
Okay. He kind of walks over, he starts like, he kind of slaps it a little bit before you see Annie kind of walk over, press the button for him to talk into, because he's like incompetent at the moment in time. And he's like, yes, we are looking for someone who is good with machinery, to put something onto a torpedo and to fire it out in the opposite direction. If someone could do that, can you please come to the infirmary? And he's like, okay, thank you, goodbye. And he's just in the most like polite way, but he's like, you don't know why he's being so polite in this sort of like pressure and shit like that. Before you hear a crackle on the other end, basically saying that someone was coming down, and it doesn't take a couple of seconds later, basically it was someone who's very close by. You do recognize Copeland, which was Moose's friend, who's like, I can help, I work with this sort of stuff. You said you want to put something onto the submarine. We need to go to that room, get the stuff, and I could technically put it inside of the torpedo and we can fire it out in the opposite direction, because technically it's a shell.
You just said many words.
Follow me.
I first things first.
Yes.
We need to get Lance his guitar.
Oof, okay.
Make sure that he's comfortable and happy.
Okay. We can. Yeah, sure.
Lance, are you staying here, or do you want to try and come with us?
I think I'm gonna stay. I think once I have my guitar, some music could at least maybe calm some of these people down. Just some sense of familiarity and distraction.
Yes, that is a great idea. And don't you worry, we will get you back to see. Was it Jemima?
Jessica.
Jessica, yes. We shall make sure we get you home to Jessica as well. Yes, we shall.
And I follow you, huge bird.
Sounds like a terrible idea, but yes, I would welcome the company.
Well, this is a terrible place to be, so.
Yes. Remind me to never, ever go on the sea again, and especially not under it.
Right.
And we won't.
Okay.
And somebody is dispatched to go and collect a guitar and fetch it back.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long before a person comes up carrying like random bags. One's got his guitar in his arm. He's like, I have a thing. I don't know whose it is. But he just kind of comes in with it.
That would be mine.
Here's your guitar, I guess. And he looks really confused as to why this is one of the things that he was asked to bring, because he doesn't view it as something that would be important in this time before he goes and runs off. As another person comes in with bags, and he's just like, I grabbed whatever I could from people's rooms, and he just kind of starts like putting the bags down. Before you see Copeland being like, let's go.
Yes. We are coming.
Okay.
Are you sure you'll be okay, Lance?
It just like nods.
Lance, you see Copeland lead Hubert and Louise out of the room in a rush. Describe what you do. Like, how is Lance feeling? Like what is his thought process as he holds this guitar?
Kind of just to calm himself, at least. Hopefully others around him. He'll try to just play a familiar tune that he knows on the guitar.
Will you roll for us?
Yeah, it was art, right?
It was, yeah. With advantage. Oh, never mind.
Woo!
Beautifully. Lance, as you start to play the guitar, as you feel that this sort of calming happening to you, it actually gets a little bit more calmer in the actual infirmary, as it seems to have that same sort of effect with your playing. Some people kind of stop what they're doing, they listen, and they just kind of sit down as if they're coming to terms with everything that's happened. Just like, okay. How do you feel in that moment in time? Like seeing that you are helping these people kind of get to grips with themselves.
Well, it would be the ones that are like slightly out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, seeing that it sort of helps, he would kind of like nudge his head towards the intercom for someone to maybe just hold the button down. So maybe a familiar. It would probably be like a song that's not super fancy, but like slightly known at least.
As you do that motion, Annie actually goes to the arm and holds it down, and you kind of hear it echoing through the sub, just in the distance. You hear it kind of everywhere, as a strange kind of lull seems to happen, and every now and then you kind of hear a few words from the song that you're playing just kind of be echoed back, as if that they're singing along with it, just to calm them. And you're having this moment for these people of calmness. Hubert and Louise, you hear this over the intercom. You hear the guitar playing a very familiar song that you recognise, and you do hear every now and then as you keep moving from place to place, going towards the professor's room to get the instrument that you said. You actually hear some people actually singing along.
My headcanon is that it's the Wellerman song playing.
God. No.
Yes. I want to swing by the room and just go into my belongings and grab something out of there, if I may know, on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try and do it so no one can see what it is.
Do sleight of hand. What is it you're grabbing?
The mask.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, do sleight of hand.
Oh, no. This is not going to go very well.
Yeah, no, everyone sees you go for this mask and pull it out.
Okay.
What is that?
It's something I found on a recent dig. And the dream that I had, the place where it was set, was familiar. And I have this feeling that they're connected. I think that maybe if we also put this in with the sound device, when we launch it, it may help. Maybe. I don't know. It's just a feeling.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. I have no clue what's happening, so let's do that.
Goes for both of us, my dear.
Yeah. You feel another shake of the submarine as it gets knocked again. With the noise of the creature in the background and stuff. But yeah, you've got the mask. You still hear the continuation of the guitar playing and the people singing with it, coming like calming down. You see people singing along, but they're actually going to try and help. Like it's kind of snaps them out of it. Like it's gotten through to them in some strange way. And yeah, you go to the where the professor's room is, and you see him kind of nudge past a little bit as he goes and grabs some of the items, and Copeland's on the outside, and he's like, okay, we need to go fast because I don't know where the water's going on, so we need to go there as fast as possible because I don't know how long we can take this.
We also need to get there before we fire the last torpedo at the damn thing.
That is true. That is very true. We have a few more. We've not fired too many. We've only fired like 2 of them as they made a hit. But we have some more. Follow me. We can do this as fast as possible. As he does one, and he basically goes to where the stairs are. As he leads you two,
no.
Hubert and Louise, he goes to one door and it's sealed shut. But you see a bit of like it's sealed tight. You can't open it. He's like, okay, this is clearly where some of the water's getting on. We need to go to the other side and find a way over there. And he does one, and he starts like running down there. The professor's kind of running with his arms full, and he's like, oh, this is so heavy. I can't do this on my own. Looks at Hubert like, help me.
Louise steps forward. Just give me that.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. And yeah, these items are not heavy at all. He was just being really like over the top with himself.
I'd just like to point out, I am limping at high speed.
You are. He doesn't care. He's just like, you're a man. Do something.
You're a prat.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Eventually, Copeland does lead you to an area where he managed to open the door, and there doesn't seem to be any, like, not a lot of damage. There's some steam coming out of some pipes, and he's like, we need to be careful here. Be careful of the steam. It's going to be... Just be careful, please, with all this stuff. Don't touch anything. Just don't touch anything. Don't look at anything. Just come over to this section. He leads you over to where the torpedo tubes and everything is, and he's like, hey, we need to lift this panel up, and we need to put that in there, so it won't. I don't know. We need to, and he lifts it up, and he just pulls random like things out of it before he's like, put the machine in there, and the professor's like, okay, we could do this. Louise, if you could just hand me the items that you grabbed, and I can just put them inside. I'll do it delicately.
Oh no.
Louise gives them to him. Well, yes. Her patience is finally running thin. She's like, she doesn't say anything. She's like,
so he
How big's the
pardon?
How big's the torpedo?
It's pretty big. Like a person could lie inside of it.
It's an interesting thing for you to say, Noah. No, I'm not going to. I'm not that
I was waiting. I was like, he wouldn't, would he?
Yes, he would, but not right now.
Well, as he puts things together, he tries to make it play the sound on a loop. It happens for a few seconds before there's a little popping noise, and he's like, "Oh, shit."
what is now?
So I made something very bad just happen.
You have made many very bad things happen repeatedly over and over and over again. You are now going to make something very good happen, or heaven help me, I am going to happen to you, and I am going to stuff you in that torpedo.
Well, you see, that's the thing. We might have to stuff me or someone in the torpedo.
You.
Well, I didn't want to say me specifically.
You. You got us into this mess with your delusions of grandeur. you could be the one that gets us out of it. At least you will die a hero.
As you say that, he gets really quiet for a second before you actually see him climb into this shell.
Oh god!
In a way where he puts the thing kind of above him, so he's holding these sort of wires, and he gets really quiet, and he's like, "Okay, how is this? Will I not drown?" And Copeland's like, "It's gonna be tight. Like it's gonna be like you're gonna be fine." As he's completely like blagging him, and you know what? The presser is just gonna believe him. He's like, "Okay, seal me up, put us in."
Moment. And I take the mask and I put it over his face. This is my most prized possession you take with you, and this is my thanks. You are the hero today. And as I turn around, I mutter something under my breath.
Would anyone like to... Louise, would you like to hear that?
Yeah.
Go roll a listen roll for us, please.
Listen. Please, God. Fuck.
You don't hear a thing. Says it's so quietly under his breath that it's just a random murmur.
Louise.
You get the impression it was not complimentary.
Louise gives Professor Blake, stares. She feels kind of bad for him because he couldn't have predicted this, but at the same time, she's like, sucks to be you.
Yes.
So she's so done with him.
In the meantime, what is Lance doing as the professor's being sealed back into this tube?
I would assume he's
Still playing? Still hearing the song over the intercom?
Yeah, I mean, if the time of the song would have run out, he would have started playing a different song. But he has seen that having some calm music is snapping people out of the insanity. At least it's the best he at least thinks he can do from where he's at, to try and at least keep people sane and keep people helping and working.
So, yeah, the professor is sealed back into this thing. Copeland makes sure everything's right. He does a little tap onto the thing, and you hear a little tap back on the other side. As he's like, we need to get out of this room and go back, and we need to let the captain know what to do.
Maybe we do not mention the fact that the good doctor is inside of the tube. We do not need people's precious morality getting in the way right now.
Good idea.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that at all, so let's just go. Let's do it. Yeah, and he leads you back up. You go past the infirmary, you see Lance there still playing the guitar, people still singing, snapping people out of it. Everything seems to be a little bit more in control because of that, because of what Lance has done. And you get to the area where the captain is. And he turns to you.
Just want to say, at this point, the adrenaline's starting to fade away, and Hubert is very aware of the very confined surroundings and the danger he's in, and he has no more things left to treat his panic.
Would you roll a sanity roll for me, please?
No.
Alright. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, you run back, you see Lance doing what Lance does, which is very calming, snapping people out, make sure they can do what they need to do. And you go to the captain, and Copeland basically explains, saying, we need to somehow fire away from this thing that is attacking us. It's gonna work, and we're gonna get away. The captain doesn't question it. He's ready for any sort of anything that they could do to try and help and get out of this. And it doesn't take long before he basically says fire, and you feel it as the torpedo is shot out, just missing this thing that is in the water. As it was originally going to attack you, it seems to hear the noise going through. It's called seconds. You actually hear it, that high pitch thing he had to show you, that 52 hertz that he was going on about. As this thing turns around and goes to follow it. And
Huge bird, you are a genius.
they do the sign of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and all that bizzle.
Yeah.
Now we've bought ourselves some time, and I'm scratching at my arms at this point, and I'm starting to shake a little bit. It's like, we need to be out of here quickly. Get me to dry land.
As this happens, you actually feel a shudder in the water and a wave as you realized that the professor's torpedo exploded as this thing went closer, blowing up, and it lets out this huge scream before it goes silent, as everyone is just listening, trying to see on the apparatus that they've got in front of them if anything's going to come close, and there's just nothing. Whatever it was has disappeared, like, into nothing.
Oh shit. We need to get high and away. Now, please.
The captain is just like, we've requested help.
We
So
don't need help. We need to get away.
yes, we need someone to help us move up. The engines are fucked. We need someone to basically help us go back up. Because if we don't in the next few hours, we're not gonna have any oxygen.
Oh, fuck. Louise says this also. She says full out. Oh, fuck.
Yes, fuck indeed, as the captain says. It's like, we've requested help. I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to get here. But we've done what we can. I don't know what you did. It worked. I don't understand what just happened. But it worked.
Best guess, how long would it take someone to get here?
We have had a response, but they say it's going to be about an hour or so.
How much oxygen? Is the ship still creating oxygen?
It's kind of doing the opposite.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a problem.
It's fine, because we should have enough time for someone to get here. We're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
Yes, we are, Miss Carlson. So if you would like to, I don't know, go back to your dormitories or whatever, just go sit down and relax, you're more than welcome to.
Relax
Yes.
and carry on scratching my arm, leaving some very obvious marks now at this point. Like, relax.
Luis grabs his hand. Dear, I think I think that's enough.
Sound. 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 It was distracted by sound. Turn the sonar off.
Excuse me?
Sonar, it works by pinging sound, yes, out into the surrounding water.
It does.
If we make ourselves as quiet as possible, it may find it harder if it comes back to locate us.
Okay.
As little sound as possible.
The captain just turns and goes, "You heard the man! Turn it off!" As you see them start to like flick switches and sonar sound just stops.
And I just sort of slump. Just exhausted, tired, broken, stressed. I think I need to lie down. Yes. Yes.
You deserve it.
Couple of minutes pass. Nothing seems to happen. Everything seems to be working well. It's whatever you did seems to have worked. Nothing's happened to the submarine. Nothing's knocked against it. You don't hear anything. The sonar's off. It's just quiet in the submarine as people are just kind of sat there listening, waiting for just something to happen. Every now and then you hear the soft guitar sounds going through the intercom.
Just to clarify, so the engines are just off
Mm-hmm.
now, 'cause they're broken.
Mhm.
So we are effectively just sinking.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly?
Not very quickly. It's gonna take like you said, with everything that's going on, it's gonna take some time to even get to that depth as they were last time. So,
Okay.
but
I do believe also submarines without the engines, unless it's being fully flooded,
mm-hmm. Which is
has
it's
a
not being.
yeah, it has like a somewhat.
They have a little bit of buoyancy, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to get crushed to death by pressure just yet. Good to know.
Here's the thing. So,
Noah.
what? No, it's okay. About an hour passes of just silence, soft guitar strumming. Lance, would you have played for that whole hour?
Probably not, because I would also assume that playing the guitar with the injured shoulder is gonna eventually.
It's gonna fucking hurt, yeah. You take the moments that you can to just kind of relax the pain. You know, you just need that moment to close your eyes and just be still. After some time, you actually hear over the intercom the captain saying, "Help has actually arrived. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna get out of here. It's gonna be okay. They're gonna help us. Don't worry about a thing." And he was correct, as help does arrive, and they do bring you up to the surface eventually. It takes some time, but they do manage to get help and sort it all out. You all manage to get to land. Kind of like, I don't know if you would go your separate ways or give each other, I don't know, some sort of way of doing contact with each other.
I would be paying Lance's medical bills.
I would also
Louis,
say on our way out, I'd make sure that we don't leave Moose on the submarine.
Oh. Okay.
Louis gives both Lance and Hugebert a hug. A big, warm hug. Before they part ways, and she tells them her address and says, if you ever need talk, the door is always open.
Lance also gives them the address to where he lives in San Francisco and says, if you're ever in San Francisco, want to have a drink, this is where I'm at. Drinks will be on the house.
What does Hubert do?
Hubert,
I will
Hubert, thanks.
I will take you up on that offer.
If I ever have to visit the West Coast, I will drop in. And you, my dear, your husband is a lucky man. I do have a little bit of business to conclude here first, however.
I understand.
Thank you. And good fortune. And never go out to the sea again.
Oh, I promise you, I will remain landlocked for the rest of my life.
And maybe don't mention this to anybody else. You might seem a little bit disturbed. Yes.
Good advice. Good advice.
Most people I talk to are drunk anyways.
In which case, it may well make a great barroom story for you to spin a yarn and a song about.
Maybe I can scare some drunk sailors. That'd be funny.
Oh, yes. I would like to claim all of Dr. Harrison's works that he had on the submarine, please.
What the hell? Nothing is coming off this
credit.
submarine at the time being. Like a police officer would say, there's like a whole sort of like news and police officers just kind of like surrounding the beach sort of area where you all get off at. And they're like, at some point people can go on there, but it's going to take a bit of time.
It's fine. My name is Hubert von Musselthorpe the 15th, and I am an expert. And I was a colleague of Dr. Harrison. And if you require any information, my services are available, of course.
Okay, well, we'll have to check out everything properly. We'll get back to you if you can give us your details, and we'll let you know of our findings. And
I will make sure one of the bellboys pass it on to you.
okay.
Bastard. Absolute bastard.
No. Yeah, so basically, do you all go home, I assume?
I'd say Lance spent some time with the crew before leaving.
Yeah.
Louise says goodbye, Annie, but then she heads back home. She needs to hug her children and her husband for a long time.
Bless them. So basically, with Lance, who spends some time with the crew, Copeland kind of hovers around Lance quite a little bit. Gives like him his sort of contact details for when he comes back, and where he's going to be staying and stuff like that. Hubert, you've given your information to the police so that you can try and claim the professor's work, and Louise, you go home and you spend your time with your family, just kind of taking that comfort into them.
I don't tell them. I don't tell them exactly what happened. I don't tell them giant mysterious.
Okay.
Things was planned, and I need you all by my side right now. But
Which they do. Yeah, no, which they do. They don't understand, but they do what you ask. Because you're their mum, you know? Whatever happens. You may not tell them, but they understand that comfort that you need. They absolutely do it. A couple weeks later, in a newspaper, there's a massive headline about how a professor was found alive. The end. Ba-dum! And then we'll leave it there. But there you go.
What was the side effect of my sanity roll, Noah?
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh, will I?
Yeah.
Okay. Side note, my character plans to go back to where they found the pallid mask.
Okay.
which is accelerated once they see the newspaper story.
Okay.
So,
Side note, if my character ever meets Professor Blake, she's going to give him a big fat punch.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, because she's usually, very patient and stuff like that, but this time it's like, I almost died, you fucking moron! And then
Does
she's
that-
gonna item for P.
does that mean I didn't get his works off the thing, or had they been released before he's discovered alive?
They actually were released to you before they discovered him. But the main
I
question
will-
is how did he survive?
That doesn't matter, because I'm going to make a point of passing on all his work to somebody who really didn't like him, so that all his discoveries and works over his lifetime are discredited by his peers.
Okay.
Oh my
So,
god.
not me
Poor,
personally, I'm not doing it, I've just given it to people who will.
poor guy.
Okay.
Nearly got me killed. Fool.
But yeah, that is the end of that for now.
Who did you say was hovering around Lance?
Copeland. Moose's friend. The one that held your hand.
Yeah, I mean, Lance invites him back to San Francisco, just to get away from it all.
Oh.
And he readily agrees just to get away from it all. Like, he's lost his best friend, his childhood friend. And you were someone who has been very polite, very kind to him. And someone he could easily talk to because you were very easy to do that with, being
And
in your line of
made-
work.
And made sure his childhood friend actually had a funeral.
Aww.
Like
That's
I said,
lovely.
he made sure that the
Moose was
he wasn't-
taken off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hubert would attend the funeral as well.
Same.
Aww. You people. So kind. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for doing this with me. It's been a while since I've done this, so thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of
you
fun.
also tried to have a Call of Cthulhu campaign going for a long time.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do one for a while.
Like
A
I
long time.
I even remember like the first character I made that just never ended up happening.
Inca.
No, that was for the Resident Evil one. I'm talking about the one that
Oh
kind of looked like
shit, you're right. Yeah, the ballerina.
Yeah, she looked like who was it? The actress that plays the Ice Queen from Narnia.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
Is it Tilda Swinton?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
She kind of looks like a young Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good times. Good times.